This episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Squarespace. Did you know a dream is just a great idea that doesn't have a website yet? It's true, and you can make that dream a reality with Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to turn your idea into a unique website. How about that? You can showcase your work, blog, you can publish some content, sell some products, some services in just a few clicks. They've got 24/7 award-winning customer support. You can customize all of it, look and feel, settings and products. They've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers. And there's nothing to install or patch or upgrade ever. You can head on over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Hey, it is Tuesday, April the 3rd, 2018. This is the Giant Bombcast, your one and only home for ongoing internet Toys R Us Death Watch.
Oh, no.
Right. Day by day.
Makes me so sad.
Day by day, it is slipping through our fingers.
I made my last and final trip. It's so depressing now. I can't afford to go anymore.
Like emotionally, you can't afford it. Like the toll it's taking on your soul.
Yeah. Like a couple of weeks ago, I went when it was like 50% off, and I went with this past weekend. It was 70% off,
Wow.
and they had 3/4 of the store just like locked off because there was nothing left in there. It was the most depressing. Like all the boxes were opened and shit. But
I'm looking forward to getting to that point in a weird way.
Yeah.
It's split. So I ended up in Toys R Us yesterday.
Okay.
And everything was 10% off except for consoles, which were 5.
Oh, it's just starting.
Yeah.
Oh, is it vary by store or something?
Yeah. I think some stores have been at this a little bit longer.
Okay.
So the one near me, you can still get if you want 5% off an Xbox One X.
Yeah.
You can get one.
There you go.
And games are 10%. Like pretty much everything was 10% off.
Okay.
Except for like garbage, like wrapping paper and birthday bags were like 30% off, which is still not a great deal.
Literal garbage.
So it was like, it was this feeling of just like, on one hand, I'm bummed that this is happening at all. On the other hand, I'm like, these deals are shit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like if they're gonna have to go through this, you want to prosper at least a little bit.
So it's like you have to ride that line if you want, the fine line between they've still got shit I might want to buy, and the deal is good enough to buy it.
I mean, you're there to pick a carcass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you want some meat on the bones.
You're not responsible for the murder. You can mourn the murder. It's not your fault that it was murdered. But
I am just here to consume a body.
Yeah.
I'm here to eat a dead person.
Yes.
I mean, you want to use every part of the Toys R Us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing goes to waste.
So I bought a used copy of Storytime Adventures for the Wii and got $1 off it.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
the website's down.
Yeah, as of this morning, as of 4 hours ago or something, they are no longer accepting purchases on their website.
Wow.
You have to go to a retail store to give them money.
Yeah.
But Skylanders there were still $16.
What?
Yeah.
And stuff. It
yeah,
wasn't,
the license.
You were
video
talking
game
about getting
stuff,
Skylanders for $1, and I was like, all right, let's fucking go look.
Once they reach a point,
Yeah.
all the figures were discounted, but the game was not. This past weekend, it finally discounted the game and stuff. But yeah, I was getting some cheap ass Skylanders.
That stuff is still totally functional, right?
Yeah.
Any Skylanders you buy, or is
Yeah,
you're going to get
absolutely,
the full
yeah.
feature set?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's
Okay.
no online
Provided
server
it's-
stuff.
Okay.
You got to use it with the game.
Sure.
Right.
But I was
You
doing
can't
some,
just buy an Imaginator and use it in Supercharged.
Maybe you can't. You need to Imagineer that thing.
That's right.
I got the Wii version of the Skylander stuff, so I got the Bowser toy.
Nice.
But he doesn't work in the other games.
They still wanted $100 for drop mix.
What?
Like
Really?
that's a bad price for that out of the gate. Let alone.
Wow.
Or I guess it would have been
That's
since it was 10% off. It would have been 90.
I'm sure that's going to change because I know that the one that I was at, it was like 50-60%
Yeah.
off.
Like,
Sounds like
I'm
you just
looking
need
at
to
it
let
going
the
like-
carcass decompose a
Yeah,
little more.
exactly. I need to get it a little more gamey.
Yeah.
Let it kind of
Let it
break
bloat.
down.
You won't
Bloat
get
a
first
little bit.
pick at it, but
Yeah.
you're gonna get the best pick at it.
Just let some of the gases escape.
Yeah. No guarantee that everything's going to be in the box by the time it. Yeah.
That's fine. If they get down to a point where I can get drop mix for about $20, I'll get drop mix for $20. But
what is that in terms of the physical goods you're getting? Is it just a stack of cards?
it's a board that hooks up to an iPad.
Oh, right, okay.
And then the game runs on the iPad, and then the cards are played on the board.
Like the board hooks into like the lightning port?
Yeah.
Weird.
Does it really?
I assume so.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe it's
Okay.
Bluetooth. I actually don't know. Now that I think about it.
Set it up on your arm like a Yu-Gi-Oh style thing, and you can just
Yeah.
like slap cards on there.
Yeah.
With nobody else, because who's going to play? Drop
Yeah,
picks?
the game when I did play it was not especially fun.
All right.
But like letting having the music change as you slap the cards down was a neat effect. So a neat effect that is worth about $20 to me.
Yep.
So if it gets to that realm, maybe I don't know, but I feel like I'll probably miss the window. Like I'll probably end up showing up too late, and it'll be like, do you want to buy a broken Bluetooth scanner for scanning things on shelves?
Right.
We've got that.
I mean, how bad do you want to own Harmonix's entire body of work?
I mean, I'd have to go back and get what the Axe. The thing they made first when they were just like, we're music researchers and out of our minds.
Oh, you mean like way back when?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm looking at a list of all their stuff right now. They put out what?
Fair amount of
Ultra
peripherals.
Band. They have something called Ultra Band coming out on Switch,
Okay.
Really?
according to Wikipedia.
That seems...
Seems like they're operating in some alternate universe and occasionally
Yeah.
dropping products into ours.
But can you buy it on their site?
They also made something called Super Beat Sports.
Yeah, that's
Harmonix still exists.
Super Beat Sports is the thing that was for Apple TV.
Okay.
That thing got ported to Switch.
Right.
Okay. Maybe that's what Ultra Band is.
Ultra Band.
Speaking of Toys to Life, I was doing some house cleaning last week and came across all of my Disney Infinity stuff.
Sweet.
Which is basically just like the first game
Yeah.
and whatever came with it.
Those are
And a
still
few extra figures.
good figures.
I found some like unopened power packs,
Yeah.
little power disc
The
things.
discs or whatever.
Like
yeah.
it's just the saddest thing, knowing none of that stuff works.
Well, that I mean, you can still play the
Well,
single
yeah.
play. It's just like the Toy Box server stuff, I think, is the stuff that doesn't work now.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was walking through that Toys R Us, they had a whole section that was just like Toys to Life, and I was like, why did they still have this section? Maybe
When
that's
they're
a
so
larger
dead.
indicator that Toys R Us was running into trouble. But it was like it had been taken over by a lot of non-toys. There was like they had a Star Wars basketball game.
Okay.
And it was like a backboard. It was like, it was like the arcade kind of just shoot hoops and get scored thing.
Shooting wampas?
Like a super tiny version of that.
They'd
That,
be porgs now.
that had
Oh,
like
okay.
fucking the BB-8 on the backboard.
I mean, everybody.
BB-8
like-
would be the ball.
I know.
Come on.
Maybe the ball would also be decorated. I don't know. It
BB-8s?
was in a
Wow.
box. I don't
Everybody's favorite thing from Star Wars, basketball.
When they picked it
Oh,
up,
I thought you were going to say
you know.
BB-8.
Chuck and
Remember
rocks.
that time they played basketball?
know. Yeah.
Not the Wookiee dunk.
They played like a 3D basketball that was totally different though.
Yeah, it was all futuristic,
Yeah.
hologram thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's been going on?
Oh shit, man!
In the video game realm.
Far Cry came out.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played some of that.
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Good.
Like I immediately am not taking the cult malicious stuff remotely seriously.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if that's the right way to play that game.
Don't expect too much out of it.
Skipping the cutscenes is probably the right way to play
Really?
that game.
That bad?
actually.
Is it that bad?
Yeah,
Huh.
I would say.
I've
It's so
seen-
disappointing.
I have seen a lot of people complaining about the ending, which
Oh,
I'm like
shit.
I'm like 3 hours into it, so I have no idea what is going on with
I,
that.
w- I was, half-heartedly like into like playing this game, but then Jeff
Yeah.
kind of inadvertently talked me out of it.
you know?
If you want to play a Far Cry game,
I do,
And-
but
and
I
you
want a
don't-
little bit of story.
then you should
that-
play Far Cry 4.
Okay.
4, I mean, being like 3 hours into 5, I think 4 might be my favorite.
Yeah,
If I had to rank them as of right now.
it's yep. That I think that's probably the canonical right answer.
I've seen a lot of people complaining about what you brought up with the kind of forced, like, you have to you get captured, you sit down, you watch this monologue
Yeah.
multiple times throughout the story.
Multiple
Oh, is
times
that
per area
where it's going?
Like they go
Okay.
so hard on that thing
Because all the the dude fucking singing Amazing Grace at you in the first 5
Yep.
minutes is just like so trite.
it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that, and then
like 7 Deadly Sins stuff. It's just
there's a lot of that.
yeah.
It's well, whatever. Not to rehash. We talked about it a lot last week, but the ending stuff that you were talking about. So there's a lot of context for the state of the world and some of the other events and stuff that is only conveyed on the radio, which is only exposed to you if you drive cars in that game, and
So
I
you
guess
could
are on the
miss
right
it entirely,
station.
right.
Like the game has quads, the game has ATVs that you and I spend a lot more time driving those, which don't have radios. So it's like there's all this stuff. You get a wingsuit, you're flying around. Like the last thing you're doing in that game is driving a fucking car. So to have like a lot of stuff there in terms of just like
You really got to seek it out.
context for like, hey, how come no one's coming to fucking save us?
Bummer.
Like weird shit like that. It's whatever. It's that stuff bad. Shooting fine.
Yeah, I like mechanically what they seem to have done with it.
Yeah.
Like,
I like Cheeseburger the Bear.
Cheeseburger the Bear.
Yeah,
I saw
it's a
Cheeseburger
bear.
the Bear on the roster, and I
Yeah.
got pretty excited about that. Just the more natural way they just lead you to side activities without like beating you over the head.
That
with,
is
like,
that is the stuff that
here
is
are the,
like
here are
way
the 12
smarter.
things you should do in this area.
Yeah.
Like it feels more like you're discovering things.
That sounds
that
cool.
stuff is way smarter. That's the probably like mechanically I think the best change they've made. Is
And that's such a
is,
big
like,
bulk of the game as well. So to hear
Right.
that they're handling that better.
Like I almost wish they
that's
hadn't
nice.
beat you over the head with that joke about like I'm not going to make you climb
it's
radio
super
towers
bad.
all the
It's-
time
yeah,
because like
it's
that-
real bad.
Just finding that out for yourself is pretty
Yeah.
impressive. It's like, oh, they figured this out.
Yeah. That's the thing they've learned how to do better.
Took them a bit.
Yeah.
They got there.
For sure. But yeah, it's
I also just love the fact that they have reduced Prepper Stash to a video game collectible.
Nah.
Like that feels like about the level of seriousness that I should take everything on.
I guess so. Yeah.
Just like go collect these Prepper Stashes, check these off this list.
And that's like that's also like one of the better parts of the game, like the like solve these puzzles
Yeah.
to find these items thing is like a welcome change.
Yeah.
I'd say too.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a totally solid, fun Far Cry to play, but pretty ridiculous.
Fewer weapons. I think that's the thing that I figured out more and more the deeper I got is that like the weapon variety is straight up not there. Like it's reduced from previous Far Cry games. It's just like there are multiple. You'll have weapons on the same category, assault rifles, and I think there's even some in the submachine gun category and stuff where it's just like literally the exact same weapon stats wise.
Looks different.
Yeah, just like and it's weird because there's like a separate thing for skins, yet they still have two main entries. Like there are two AK-47 equivalents in that game, and two MS-16s in there that are just like exactly the same.
Is that just an
guns.
excuse to have more lists of challenges?
No, because
Oh.
they're in the same category, and the challenges are assault rifle, not
by
for this
category?
specific
Okay.
assault rifle.
Okay.
So it's some strange choices there around the edges with guns, but. Given the way Ubisoft seems to expand its games these days, they'll probably add a bunch of guns someday for a game that, like, why would you care?
I don't know. They turned on live events yesterday. For what that's worth.
Yeah.
What are those?
They had just like enabled it. I didn't mess with it. But
Yeah.
it seems like online challenges of some kind that contribute to your campaign progress or something like that. I'm not sure.
Seems like maybe it's like another way to earn money or perks or something like that. I'm not sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
What else have you all been playing?
I booted up the Oculus Rift last night. Yeah, I brought it home over the weekend just to see where the state of VR is. And my son saw me checking it out, and he's like, "Oh, what are you looking at? Let me check that out."
Let me get in there.
Dude picked it up immediately. Like he just put it on his head, 2.5.
Okay.
Put it on his head. He looked down, and he was in the big like lobby area where you see the water and stuff. And he said, "Water," and he went, "Wow!" So I booted up the Invasion, kind of like that interactive movie thing.
Okay.
And he just
the alien thing? Yeah.
immediately picked it up. Like I could not believe, and he was having the best time. I've never seen this kid so happy before. He was screaming at the top of his lungs, "Wow!" for about 5 minutes straight, over and over. It was the coolest thing. And man, did he cry when we had to put it away. But
once he understood the nature of actual reality.
Yep. Yeah. Then he's like,
I want to go back.
That was so cool to just watch him pick it up and immediately get it and have the time of his life.
Yeah.
That was so cool. So I'm downloading a bunch of like other interactive things. I don't want him to hold like the touch controls or anything just yet. I don't think his dexterity is there quite yet. But
I know it's like
such a so cool.
Such a like old man thing to talk about, but like you talk about like people like us grew up with controllers.
Yep.
And then like people the generation after us grew up with smart stuff.
Yeah.
Smartphones and
Yeah.
tablets.
Yeah, he can navigate his
what's
tablets
it
so
gonna,
much better.
What's it gonna be like for kids that were using VR from the age of 5 or whatever? Like that's
It's going to
be
be
ready
interesting
to
to
go
watch.
full Minority Report.
Yeah,
just
basically.
Like,
Yeah, so I bought a PlayStation VR.
Cool.
Yeah, they dropped that price.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they dropped the price.
saw that.
300 probably.
Yeah, it's down to 300.
They took 100 off it.
Okay.
I ended up getting the bundle because
With the Move
Yeah,
stuff?
so that was like $350 for like the Skyrim VR
Okay.
headset, camera, 2 Move controllers. And so I grabbed that because I had reached a point where it's just like I realized like I think it's been like 9 months since I put on a PlayStation VR.
You gotta have something to
like
touch when you're out in the garage.
Yeah, I should probably just get one of these and kind of just see if it's any better. But I haven't tried anything that would test that out. All I played was Polybius
Okay.
because
Yeah,
Polybius
that's
is
fine.
really
Nice.
fucking
That is,
good.
that is definitely the best thing on PSVR.
Yeah, and
Did that ever come out on Steam?
not yet.
Or-
So
is it still happening?
this is why here's the sequence of events. Last week, Tempest 4000 was originally slated to be released. It got pushed back to an indeterminate date.
Oh, I saw a mentor tweeting about something.
Yeah.
Development related.
Things
Things not working, and then he was getting things working. And
I don't know what the actual case is. My understanding is that he was done with it, and they were waiting to get like physical copies or some production issue on that end.
just blame Atari.
Just blame Atari. They need to go launch a coin before they can put the game out. So he has said that he's going to be working on putting Polybius out on PC once Tempest is out the door and done.
Okay.
It sounds like he's working on porting Grid Runner and some of the other like the stuff he did for iOS that is now long gone.
Okay.
Because it was all 32-bit stuff that never
wow.
got updated.
Okay.
So it sounded like some of those games might get updated for different platforms or
All right.
something. There was some cool stuff in there too, which I'm excited if that work gets done. Anyway, I got tired of waiting for Polybius on the PC and was just basically like, well, fuck it. I should probably own one of these stupid things anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll work slightly better. This is the version that works with 4K TVs and HDR and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's the updated
it's
pass-through
updated.
box.
Gotcha. How can you tell? Wow.
All the Skyrim bundles. That's why I got the Skyrim
Right.
bundle. I don't fucking care about the PlayStation VR version of Skyrim. It's out on
Yeah.
PC now. Like I'll play it on a Rift, but well, if that works, I don't know. Fallout sure as shit did not work well on a
That's
Rift.
true.
Anyway, all those bundles were the updated.
Okay.
The updated ones.
Do you know if any of the base bundles?
Yes,
would have?
probably.
Probably, but
But,
yeah, there's no way.
yeah.
Of,
I always see people saying, yeah, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
But yeah, some of those bundles were definitely only made once the revision hit. So that was a good, safe way to get one.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah.
And,
so
you,
I
and how
picked
much was
up.
that bundle?
It's $350.
$350.
Yeah.
That's
Which is like a reasonable price.
Yeah.
That's like what that's what Microsoft is charging for, or not Microsoft, but the Windows mixed reality headsets, all those inside out tracking, fucking like Lenovo and all the other companies that are making those. I think those are going for around $350-ish.
So it's competitive. Yeah.
So it's
Plus, you're getting Move controllers, man.
Yeah, you can play Johann Sebastian Joust.
Yeah, really excited about those Move controllers.
Wow, I forgot about that game.
Yeah.
People still play that?
Probably.
Someone's in a fucking park right now.
Somebody's in a warehouse.
Yeah. Someone still thinks GDC 2013 is still going on.
Somebody has been awake since GDC and is
Yeah.
still.
And is still playing Joust.
Can't find anyone.
Yeah, those Move controllers are, I think, the ultimate weak point of the whole PlayStation VR ecosystem.
Yeah. I know.
But I want to try out Bravo Team, which I was.
That looks cool.
I hear it's terrible.
Really?
I like started reading up on it yesterday because I was like, oh, I meant to play this weekend, but didn't get to it. Then I realized like I barely know I just know it's like a military thing that supports the gun shape thing. And then I did a cursory glance of it, and there was just like no shortage of people going, "This thing's fucking garbage."
Oh, really?
Like, good. Really looking forward to getting into that. So
Can't wait.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious to see if any of that stuff works any better.
Yeah.
Because
In a different setup at home.
the two headsets I've tried in our possession so far were bad.
Yeah.
But that was a while ago. They've updated firmware since then.
You should try that Batman thing from launch.
Fuck.
I feel
man.
I feel like that was.
Like I'm
the-
almost afraid
Yeah.
to try it because of how fucking south that went.
I feel
when
like
we tried
that
it.
was, that was the worst offender
Sick.
Yeah,
for sure.
that thing was. Oh, that was terrible. But yeah, you're probably.
And
right.
you don't even walk in that game.
Nope.
Like you don't even do the thing that VR usually makes people sick with.
Yeah, no, it was just like that was the whole world
that
was
subtle
tilting and
shift,
moving
yeah.
and braking and vibrating back and forth, and it was like, oh, this technology is bad.
The world is not ready.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I picked one of those up. It's easy to forget. The one thing I had kind of forgotten is just like how comfortable that headset is and
really
how
is.
easy
Yeah,
it
the
is to
better
put
ones.
on and stuff. That's the thing they did really master.
Yep.
Is just the putting on of a PlayStation VR and all that stuff.
Just comfort.
is really nice.
And
Stability.
Kind of use that like an external monitor, essentially, can't you? Like,
Yeah, I
isn't
think
it just
people
like an output
found
device?
a way, to get it working with PC, I believe.
Oh yeah. But in terms of just like play any PlayStation game on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you
you can do
totally
that too.
can.
Yeah, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
And then I think you can like hook it up to a PC as well.
Yes,
Okay.
it's not as a replacement for a Rift per se.
Right.
People have hacked together some different shit for it, but it's
Yeah.
not really the same.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, you can play other games on it. The idea of playing like a flat game at like the resolution, like this blocky low resolution
Resolution's not quite
while
there.
sitting in front of a 4K TV is pretty dumb.
I didn't notice any
but-
delay. Like I played some Street Fighter
Yep,
on it.
yeah,
and
you-
it was totally
it's
playable.
it's totally playable. It's HDMI coming right out of that
Yeah.
thing. It's not anything too crazy.
Yeah.
But
But if
just in
somebody's
terms of like
I'm thinking of like in a family setting when the family's using the big
Sure,
TV,
yeah.
you can just hook that up and
disappear.
yep.
I guess
I need
yeah,
places to disappear to.
You could do that.
Interesting.
You could do that.
Okay.
Alright.
Maybe I will.
I guess, we just passed the end of the quarter and the end of the fiscal year, so not a whole lot of games out this week.
Oh,
They all came out last week and the week before, but
Mm-hmm.
have y'all been playing any of those?
Yeah, I picked up Minit, Minit.
Yeah, I
You've been
played some of
playing
that too.
A bit of that as well.
That game
So
is cool.
I'm not sure if we talked about it on the podcast before. I played it back at a show, but
Okay.
it's basically like a very minimalized kind of like roguelike Zelda
Mm.
experience, like a top-down, 2D. A lot like half minute.
Kinda,
Yeah, a
yeah.
little bit like that. So you've got like a minute to
Yeah.
go through like an entire run essentially.
Yeah.
But you're making progression.
Yeah,
so,
that was the big difference for me, and the thing that it's the opposite of what I expected, which is that you think you're going to start from zero every time and have to like optimize your run to get through it faster, but
Right.
you actually retain a bunch of progress.
Yeah, totally.
Like every
So-
item you find, you keep.
Mhm.
There's the concept of like a home. Like you start in just a house in the middle of the map, but
Yep.
later on you find like a trailer out in the desert.
Yeah, I'm
as
on
soon-
an island right now.
Yeah, and as soon as you go in another home, it goes, "This is your home now," and so
Yep.
then you start from there. Every
Yeah,
time
because
you die.
otherwise, it would take forever to walk from.
Yeah.
from
Like,
A
you
to
couldn't
B.
you couldn't finish all the things you need to finish in 60 seconds if you
But-
couldn't.
Yeah, some of the quests are like discovery based. Like, hey, you found this watering can, but there's also more traditional. Oh man, take care of those crabs. They'll give you this key. That's how the world works, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
You
Taking
got crabs.
care-
You got
take care of these crabs.
to handle some business.
And like
Get a
secret
key,
areas
some
to find
shampoo.
and stuff like that. Like I'm working on getting coins right now, so I can get some like speed boosts or something like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
I'll have enough time to like on one run, go out and find one coin or something like that.
Did you do that? I was going to call it a maze, but there's only one way through it, so it's not really a maze. But like, there's
With the snakes? down there?
no, it's a different dungeon from that.
Oh,
there
it's
is
a little further past that.
basically as far as I got was there's a dungeon where you have to run through this like super windy kind of path,
Yep.
and barely like it took me like 5 tries because you have like no margin of error whatsoever.
Right.
You have like exactly 60 seconds to
And-
get.
and
the speed boost. With
And
it.
are there dead ends or is
No,
it
no, no.
Okay,
it is
so
one path, but
really
it's windy
just,
enough that if you like catch a corner wrong
Okay.
one time for
Yeah.
a split second, you're not going to make it to
Got
the key you need.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can. I think you can do it without the speed boots, but
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah, it gets pretty tough. It looks like a Game Boy game also, which is kind of cool.
That's the aesthetic that they're going for.
Super-
It's all
super-
monochromatic,
yeah, it's
black,
black
and
and
white.
Super low res. It's neat.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
cool game.
neat soundtrack to it. It's got a interesting look, and it's been fun. It's certainly frustrating sometimes when you're limited by that time limit. It's impending doom all the time, and there's no respite from it as well. Even when you go into like your house, like the clock is still ticking, so it's like you never get a breather.
Here's a big one for me with a game like that. How's the music?
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's good.
No-
It's-
yeah,
it's-
I can't.
Because I feel like if you're
place
going
it
to keep
right now.
hearing the same song for a minute,
I think it's
I
kind
wanna
of
say it's-
chip tune esque, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure if it starts over, every minute or something like that.
okay.
I think it's just like one continuous thing. But also, yeah, you can like restart whenever. So,
Yeah.
like, say that you get to something and it only took you 30 seconds. You know that you're not going to have enough time to get to the next place. You can just like hold B.
Yeah, you can death shortcut your way back to your spawn
Minute
point.
MINIT?
Yeah.
Is that
MINIT. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
And it's just like one button.
Hmm.
You just got your A button.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
it's
for
just a sword.
Yeah, that and
Watering
reset
can.
is B.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's super simple, but it's really satisfying.
Yes.
it's cute.
Yeah, you can tell that. Yeah, they had a lot of fun with just various dumb challenges and stuff.
Yep.
It's cool.
It is cool.
Check it out. Do you know how much it is?
That's $10.
$10. $10. When's that out?
Today.
Surprise.
Today,
$10.
It's out. Yeah.
Polybius.
cool.
I'm sorry, I just can't stop thinking about Polybius. Just to talk about that a little bit before we, the VR stuff, whatever, it's cool. That game is perfect in that it is
End quotes.
So much of it doesn't matter.
Sure.
In terms of they wanted to make a fucking hyperkinetic wild VR thing out of this kind of retro graphic style and have it be able to run super smooth and stuff like that. They make all the right choices in terms of just there's some stuff that can, you will eventually die. The game gets harder.
Sure.
But you just kind of shoot into the mess.
Yeah.
And everything blows up and that's fun.
Yeah.
And it'd be, there's a level to it where you're all of a sudden okay, I need to focus on these specific things for the speed boosts because that's what I care about.
Was this your first time really digging into it?
It was the longest I've played it.
You start that thing trying to parse out all the rules of the things that are taking place in front of you, and then ultimately you're just wait, there is no figuring.
It's kind of
there is no understanding all of this.
And you get level 10 plus, somewhere around level 10 or 12 or somewhere around there, you'll get to a point where you start hitting jumps. Ooh. And there will be full blockades that you will take damage if you are not in the air to go over them.
Wow. Okay.
So it becomes you find rules like that on almost a per level basis.
Yeah, every level is different.
Okay, I need to really make sure I'm hitting these jumps because otherwise I'm going to take a bunch of damage along the way.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track of anything while that game is happening too. So that's
that becomes the challenge.
Yeah.
It's just can I focus on this one piece of thing to make sure I survive while all this chaos is happening around me.
There's that one early level that tripped me up where you have to I think you have to slalom around the two colored pillars. There's different colored pillars.
Slalom, the red blue flags
alternate
slalom,
colors to or you just die.
Right.
You hit nothing, but you die.
And you either figure out immediately oh, it's a slalom or you don't, and you're fucking what the fuck. Yeah.
It's a weird game.
It's there have been Llama Soft games in the past that have kind of been weird that way, where it's every level is a little different in a way that I'm not quite sure why or how, and I kind of have to parse it out.
I want to say, looking at the leaderboards, it seemed like there might be dozens of levels in that game or something.
I suspect that's
like
probably
50 levels or something.
Because it does the Tempest thing where you can start from your highest level, so you're always kind of making forward progress if you keep at it.
Right.
But I played about 15 levels and got very warm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got 10 or 12 or something.
Yeah,
I had to stop.
And I was I should probably that's that thing that says you should stop playing this game, and so I did. So there you go. Even the game I like for PlayStation VR eventually made me feel sick. I guess but for a different reason at least.
I've seen some, not to talk about VR all episode, but I've seen a bunch of Vive Pro headlines going around. I don't know if people got their hands on that thing at GDC or something.
Yeah, I think they were showing it there, and they're getting ready to. I think they have a date and stuff now too. They announced pricing.
Yeah, it's over $1,000, I think, if you to buy the whole thing.
Oh, to buy all of it.
If you don't have,
right.
I saw some upgrade prices $700 or $800.
Yeah,
but the whole thing is $1,100 if you have nothing.
I would love to get my hands on one of those things and see what the resolution
stuff
does for it, because that's
the big draw for me is the resolution.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I saw Tested. I didn't watch the video, but Tested has a video up testing the wireless.
Oh, right.
Also, latency stuff.
Yeah. That would be nice to, that stuff, it seems like it's coming along. Someone asked me out of nowhere, hey, do you think Microsoft announces an Oculus partnership at E3 this year? And so I got to thinking about VR all over again and was like, no, I don't think they do.
They're all in on AR, right?
Well, they call it MR.
Right.
Because it's just a generic, mixed
Microsoft
reality. It might be AR, might be VR, whatever.
it's just not RR.
Yeah, it's not real reality. That's
nobody wants that.
That's Joey Greco's private copyright over there. You can't mess with real reality. That's his whole thing. But yeah, I got to thinking, man, do you think that they do anything? Because they announced it at one point. They were like, oh yeah, and virtual reality for the Xbox One X. And then last E3, there was very much a no mention of VR.
Didn't somebody ask Phil Spencer about it?
Yes,
I was
he
just said, hey, we're focusing on this platform.
He said, it's not really, kind of, maybe the time is not right. But it got me thinking, I don't think the time is more right now. Unless because think about that. You're going to take an Xbox One X, you're going to plug 2 sensors and a headset into it, like all that USB 3 stuff, and set it up like that? Like no, like the inside out tracking like of some of those Lenovo headsets, some of the other like Windows headsets, maybe, because then you're not setting up a camera, you're not setting up all this other shit. Like in theory, that would be an easier setup that might not work quite as well because the tracking is a little different. I haven't tried any of that stuff. I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem like that's a key. I just don't think that's gonna like please anyone other than VR developers who would be stoked to have one more platform to ship a game on and hopefully find more audience. I just wonder, like, with where VR is at right now.
Like VR has become this niche like enthusiast category and not like the future.
Yeah, I guess so.
It feels like that's where we're at right now.
And you know, that's where we're at right now. It's not to say that that's where it's going to stay. You know, as that stuff gets cheaper and the setup gets easier, like that stuff probably changes. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't see any real benefit from Microsoft of like making that a big push right now for them, other than like
that's really not where they're trying to gain ground.
I don't know where they're trying to gain ground. They should find some
wherever they can.
Yeah. But that just seems like, oh, hey, that would seem like, oh, well, Sony did it and they sold you know, some number of millions of headsets. They've done quite well for themselves. Maybe we should get in on that. But it doesn't just seem like. No. I just don't get the impression that there's like consumer demand for it right now. I wonder. I guess that we're in that mode now of just like, oh, right, what the fuck's gonna happen at E3 this year? And starting to piece that together.
Number 1 E3 prediction, go.
Mario 2. There's a new Mario.
Super Mario Brothers 2. Cool, I'm into it.
Sweet. A purple Mario.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is he good or bad?
We'll find out.
It's up to you.
Okay.
The choices you make determine something. I don't know.
I like the idea. I've seen people float of Phil Spencer just coming out on stage and being like, "Hey, Crackdown 3's out." And it's on Game Pass.
I've seen more and more people talking about surprise.
Pull like a I mean, not that it's apparently, I haven't seen it, a good movie, but pull a Cloverfield paradox.
Yeah,
where they're just like, hey, this thing is out and it's on this $10 a month service.
Yeah, especially if they're trying to push Game Pass. That seems like a good idea.
It's like a surprise sort of big game release.
It's one way to get people excited about Crackdown again after
that's the other
the delays.
and
there were delays, but then they're really quiet about it, right? And it's either a really bad sign or a surprise.
Well, they were really quiet about it up until E3.
Yeah,
showed it at E3.
Yeah, I saw it at E3.
Yeah, and I think the reaction there was like,
Crackdown's cool.
And then they were
Terry
very
Crews
much
cool.
quiet about Crackdown all over again. And so, yeah, maybe that's like a flashy way to get that game out there if it's even ready. But
it's funny, like they were like, somebody asked about Terry Crews, and they were like, we weren't ready to announce that, but you can't really tell Terry Crews not to tweet whatever Terry Crews wants to tweet. So he's here.
Right. Sure. I want Crackdown to be great.
Yeah.
Crackdown 1 was so much fun.
Dude,
Crackdown 2, significantly less fun. It would be great to have a good-ass Crackdown game.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to, for me at least, it doesn't even have to be amazing. It just has to be something I can pick up, run around, blow some things up, grab some orbs, have a good time doing that. Like, if it's as good as Crackdown 1, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like, at the time. I'm sure, like, going back now, it's different.
Right, yeah.
But, like, it doesn't need to really advance the third-person shooter genre in a big way. I just need it to be fun and dumb.
Did they ditch all that destructible stuff?
No, that was only in the online, which they weren't showing.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
There's a black hole gun.
Great song.
Okay. Sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think there's another. I think that there are people that are starting to. Well, in varying degrees, and some people have been this way for years, I think now. But like, at some point, the idea of just like, here's an open world game full of open world stuff. Like, there's a lot of those. There have been a lot of them for a good long time.
Yeah. Saints did it really, really well. That whole Crackdown thing.
And Crackdown, I mean, this like that last Saints game was a kind of just a Crackdown game in a lot of ways, and I so like yeah, like in terms of like pushing things forward, like you're right, it doesn't necessarily have to. It could be okay, but at the same time, like I don't necessarily want like a big old open world game full of that type of side content and all that other stuff. Like I just finished Far Cry 5, which granted is a very different type of open world game, but you know, then we got news about like they're going to do another year of Wildlands content, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh wait, like I don't know that I necessarily want to run around an open world. Like I feel like open world games have again reached this weird territory, with me anyway, and I think some people have the fatigue set in earlier. But I think I'm back at a point now where it's like, you know, if you're gonna make if I'm gonna spend dozens of hours in a open world, like it's got to be something else. It's got to be something removed from a lot of the stuff we've seen.
Especially when you think about how bare bones the first Crackdown was. I mean, like it was fine at the time because there weren't a lot of those games out there. But what was it? It was basically just like, hey, kill the 7 crime bosses, go. Like that was the whole game.
Like
right?
it was cool at the time because it was open in a way, and you're like, I can kind of go wherever.
Right.
You know, that was back when there was still an element of like, oh, we've locked off this other half of the city until you get to this story point because we're Grand Theft Auto and that's how it works. Swim over here and you're going to get a full star rating because we have to keep you in the spot where the video game is. And the Crackdown was like, fuck it, I don't know.
Just have fun, blow stuff up.
And then, you know, Far Cry 5 is like that in a way too, where it's, you know, once you get off that tutorial island, it's like, go wherever, do whatever you want in whatever order.
Except that they also, like 3 different times they chime in, they're like, hey, go where you want, but you should go to this town first.
Totally.
Probably, maybe. That's what I would do. Like,
yeah.
They kind of hedge on that a little bit.
A little bit. But yeah, it's, open world stuff.
With how much of a time and investment it is, it's very easy to get fatigued. With those games.
Or you know, like you need a strong like co-op multiplayer component because then the fatigue somehow, you know, in some ways gets
you share the load.
It gets mitigated by like, oh, we're having fun blowing shit up and talking about.
This is also a chat room.
Right. This is also a chat room.
Like chat room games is basically its own genre at this point.
It's the as far as I'm concerned, it is the way to play Far Cry 5 is make it a chat room with another person and don't pay attention to any of that shit.
All right.
Can you make like Grand Theft Auto like a Crackdown thing? Like, can you have like super high jumps or shit like that?
I mean, you could mod GTA 5 to do whatever you want,
right?
But in terms of
you mean would they do that?
Could they make a Grand Theft Auto game that was that?
I don't think they ever would. I think that they're too. They take themselves way too seriously.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think they're it would be an interesting departure, but I think they're pretty locked in to check out our reality thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like GTA 2 is probably the closest.
Grounded,
whatever. San Andreas had jetpacks and all that shit. Like,
that's true. Okay.
Like they have gone weird, but that was kind of the last time they did it, and that was on the heels of, you know, that was the third GTA 3.
Yeah.
You know, that was GTA 3. So
and then,
that was them expanding,
and
then
it
4 hit,
very
and it was
set
like,
reality.
okay, here's our new engine. We've grounded it again. Like this is all
very
about
personal
the tech.
story.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think what was the most outlandish stuff you could do in 5. Like you could fly planes,
fly the helicopters.
It's got crazy shit
crazy.
It had that drug
submarine.
It had the drug shit.
Yeah,
it was like, it had the sub stuff.
Batmobile type thing now. They have like a bunch of spy cars. You can
for the online stuff. Yeah,
online
a bunch
stuff,
of weird stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was mostly talking about. Is how many like weird modes are there that you could like essentially make it into a Crackdown game? I don't know.
I don't know if they've necessarily got like the high jump Superman type stuff that the
great.
Crackdown has. I think if you wanted to write a Grand Theft Auto story that made sense in context, like you could do that.
Sure.
You know, GTA 2 was set in the future. It was a weird. That was a weird game.
I like their alt futures. Yeah.
That was even weird in San Andreas though, because like ostensibly they were making their Boys in the Hood.
Oh yeah.
But then on top of that, they bolted on jetpacks and stuff.
But
like that.
You know, that's.
I mean, that's a very like pretty serious movie about a specific topic.
And like that's like in some ways that's side content done well, right? Because the main through line of San Andreas is that story. And you get side content there that is still kind of tied into it, where it's like, oh, I'm going to go, you know, deal with this, record industry stuff for a little bit and all this. While meanwhile, there's like Grove Street, like we're doing this, we're taking over territory. Like there's that kind of element that is like thematically similar, but then at the same time, there's like fucking weird ass government guy and fucking jetpack dude, and like all that stuff is side content in a way that like it works. It shouldn't work in some ways, and I wonder if it would work less well today because of just like how far the genre has kind of come. But at the time, when you were like listening to David Cross tell you fucking weird remote control RC car missions or whatever the fuck his stuff was, like it all, in context, it all still worked because it like still had that main through line, and it was very much like I went out and found this weirdo.
Yeah.
And now...
And you believe that this weirdo would exist in this world.
Yeah, yeah. It was just them taking, like, their extreme fucking, like, their sense of satire of, like, ha-ha, America, and just, like, putting it into some story missions instead of just on the radio.
Sure.
Which, like, that's... You see some of that in Far Cry 5, honestly. Like, you have weird conspiracy theorist character who is not really tied into any of the cult shit at all, and his missions are spacey and strange, and you get a dumb world-breaking item at the end of it in a way that you're just like, okay, I guess, like, whatever. Like, at times they want to walk that line, but their core storyline is not strong enough to carry it, so all of it kind of falls around it. But there are elements in there, like, there are definitely times playing Far Cry 5 where you think about it like, oh, like they're kind of trying to do a San Andreas here in a weird way, but they don't earn it.
Yeah,
because the story is not strong enough to carry it, and so all those other moments just it ultimately, like, every moment in that game just seems weightless because you're just like, none of these characters matter. Yeah, it's just like the side character asshole is just the same type of dumb shit as this other guy, and it's just like none of it's written well at all, and it kind of.
Do you think they had to dial stuff back or just like completely cut stuff from that story and from its characters just due to kind of the hot button nature?
I think that game went through some significant changes over the course of development from its time of announcement to its time of release. That is my understanding, anyway. As for the reasons why and all that other stuff, I don't actually know.
Sure.
It's tempting to go like, oh, they got cold feet and didn't go as hard as they could have or whatever. But like, I don't actually know. I don't actually know the reasons behind that stuff. But my understanding is that there were some changes.
Okay.
Right. Ben?
It seems like it,
I hear you've been playing a lot of Ni no Kuni.
I have been playing Ni no Kuni. It's hard to tell exactly how long I've been playing Ni no Kuni because I leave it idling all the time because it turned into a mobile game.
What? Are there timers?
Yeah. There's... Okay.
Can you pay
all right.
to shorten the timer?
No.
Shit. Okay.
Well, yes, but only with in-game currency that you earn. Okay. So Ni no Kuni, up till last week, like the first 2 chapters, very traditional, very straightforward, just like some combat, move around the world, go to new locations, etc., etc. And then in chapter 3 and 4, they start folding in a lot of really unconventional stuff into the game.
Unconventional in terms of a JRPG or?
Yes.
Okay.
At least ones I've played.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll
let you explain.
So the first thing that they added that was strange is there's this kind of war battle mini game that you come across these banners in the overworld, and if you accept the challenge, you enter in this thing. And what it is this top-down view. Your character Evan, the king, is in the middle, and you have 4 groups of allies around you, each with their own weapon, like sword. There's sword, spear, and axe. It's like the Fire Emblem triangle.
Okay.
But then also you can have ranged units, and you move around the battle, and L and R will rotate them around you, and they will kind of automatically attack enemies that you're near. And then you have, buttons with like super moves and stuff, and you're just kind of running around this big battlefield fighting other big clusters of units. There's no active combat per se. You're just like positioning and moving, and you want to like swing it around so your axe guys are in front fighting the spear guys.
I was about to ask if this was just Dynasty Warriors, but I guess not.
No. And then, if you stop moving, that'll give your archers enough time to shoot. So it's very much like a weird kind of positional game.
Kind of sounds cool.
Yeah. It feels like a good mobile game. Like it feels it's I don't mean that in a reductive sense. Like it's kind of one-dimensional in what you're actually doing. It's more about your positioning and your resource management and that stuff.
Okay.
And that was cool. And then, so kind of the theme of the game is you're building this kingdom. You're trying to unite the world under your banner to end war. So part of that is actually building a kingdom. And so once you get to a certain point in the game, you get your little kingdom, you carve out a little area for yourself on the world map, and you start recruiting civilians through side quests. So like, let's say I'm in another town and somebody's like, hey, I need you to go kill this monster for me. And you go do it, and then they come to your town. And then that's where it gets weird, because now they introduce this whole other currency called King's Guilders, which you use exclusively for this kind of sim management minigame thing, where you can build, I think right now my kingdom has 30 different facilities, and they each do completely different things. Some of them will, I'd say half of them kind of passively generate items, like either crafting items or healing items or stuff like that. They'll just kind of, different people that you recruit have different traits that make them better at this sort of thing or that sort of thing. So you populate them accordingly. But then there's
you actually assign them to teams, like some Mother Base Metal Gear type stuff.
Yeah, they have like 4 different things. It's like weaponry, or like weaponry, survival, like 4 different traits that each tie into the different locations. And it can be as obtuse as like, this area is your overworld house, and all the upgrades here is like, you move faster on the overworld. Weird. Or like you will encounter less random battles or more random battles. Like, and then there's, this is just like an armor works.
Those are just like weirdly mechanical upgrades to hide behind this.
Yeah.
Big city builder.
Does it feel like something that you could safely ignore? Or
I don't know. You have to do part of it as like in chapter 4. It's like the introduction. And it's very long, that chapter. It's a lot of backtracking. It starts to showcase how small the world feels, because when you pull up the world map, when you're first traveling through it, it looks really big. It's kind of this ring with a big ocean in the middle. But as you start to progress, you realize you're like, actually, I'm kind of already in a third of this world map, and it's more of like, there's kind of 3 towns so far.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of traveling between towns and talking to people. And I don't know if it's just this chapter. I've just finished that one and I'm on the next one. But it felt like it was a really strange pacing issue in an otherwise really enjoyable game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the upgrades you have to wait. And then the time you have to wait depends on how talented the people are in that base. So usually, unfortunately, it's like between 40 minutes and an hour.
Is that enough time to like go off
in-game
and
time or
do a
real
side quest?
world?
In real.
Oh, like does it keep running if you turn it off?
No. Yeah. So I guess in-game time.
So you just let it idle.
It's idling at my desk right now.
Okay.
Because I just researched an upgrade, and then at the break, I'm gonna go try and advance the next one.
Great.
I think once
I hope this stuff is completely optional.
Yeah, I get the impression once you kind of do the initial
you
spread.
It seems like it's something you're meant to kind of return to, get some upgrades, but also keep playing forward in the story, and the upgrades will kind of pop as you go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I
wonder if you're going to kind of break the progression by just waiting it out. You're just going to become too powerful or something.
I've already feel too powerful. I talked last week about my main problem with the game was the lack of difficulty.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying
through those first few chapters.
Way too easy.
There's enough quests now that I have hard stuff to do, but all the mainline story stuff I've encountered, I've still been a little bit too overpowered for, and I feel like I don't usually do this in RPGs, but I'm like doing almost every quest as they pop up, as long as it doesn't involve too much backtracking or stuff. But I feel like that's been breaking the game a little bit. I feel like maybe it wasn't it didn't think I was gonna go this hard on it.
You should be rewarded for going back and doing that.
Yeah.
So you should feel powerful for that.
Yeah.
How fast is it to get in and out of that upgrade stuff? Because like if
quick.
the menus, and if it's just like laborious to load in and out, I could see wanting to just ignore that stuff. But.
Yeah, it would. Well, so it's easy to ignore, except for the fact that in that chapter you're constantly like, let's go back to town and figure it out. But the fast travel system, and that's just a point on your map that you fast travel to. In fact, there's a shortcut. You just hit triangle to go back to your kingdom. Like it's pretty snappy. And then you can actually like walk around in your kingdom, and that's nice, and like talk to the people.
Can
and
you
they all
decorate?
not yet. I've just upgraded to like level 2, which opened up a whole new rung of things to research. Like, it's there's a lot to do in that game, and there's probably, I would say, like 200 help pages you can stifle through of just like all the different things, all the different mechanics. I still don't know how some of the more simple battle mechanics work, just because there's so much stuff to do, and I haven't gone back to read it.
And Ni no Kuni 1 didn't have
Base building or
anything
No.
like
Not
this,
that
right?
I
It was
know.
pretty straightforward,
Yeah,
right?
it was-
I
I think I only got 15 or 20 hours into it.
Yeah.
But
It never gets to the point that you were talking about, Ben. It's just fairly just turn-based stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I mean, that sounds like, hearing you describe it, I'm like, actually, like that combined with what I've seen of the battle system and stuff, like,
Yeah.
this is kind of continuing to sell me on this game.
Yeah,
if this runs completely like parallel to what it provide, as long as I don't have to like actually sit and wait, like how you're doing it right now.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Yeah, none of the stuff that you're researching is mandatory in any way. It's all just like ancillary kind of, it'll make battles easier, it'll make
Yeah.
transportation easier, just kind of
Yeah.
Like faster walking sounds good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that-
or like when you smash pots, you get more money out of them.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm fine doing that busy work. If it's like, I go out on a mission, I come back and I do a little base building, get that out of my system, and then go back and do
Yeah.
real world stuff.
The last really neat thing about this game that I think other games could probably take and expand on is how they handle leveling. So your characters get stronger when you level up. They get like stat boosts, strength and stuff, but it's kind of buried. The main thing you get when you level up are points that you can feed into something that's called the tactics tweaker, which is a really good name.
Yeah.
love to tweak them tactics.
And basically what that is there's 4 different categories. One's like monster types, one's resistances, one's post-battle rewards, and one's battling. And basically, you can feed the points in to each of the categories as you see fit. Like when you level up, you get 5 points or whatever. And so like the first one is there's a slider with the different monster types on each end of the slider. And as you pour points in, you can move that slider to, you will deal more damage against this type of monster, but take more damage from the opposite type of monster. So there's 6 types of monsters, and they're like solid versus slimy, or they all have weird types like that.
Yeah.
Very twee and kind of wonderful and mystical and stuff like that. And then there's one it's the same with like statuses. There's like poison or burn and freeze, and then you can increase your resistance to burn and then lose resistance to freeze. But then at any time you can move it back and forth.
Respect.
So like I'm entering a water dungeon, so now I can just like, okay, I bet that there's going to be a lot of these water type enemies and kind of adjust on the go. And then same kind of, you get different post game rewards like experience versus money, materials versus items, stuff like that. And I think that rather than just like leveling up your character's resistances and stuff like that, I think kind of giving you the option to build out how you want to approach it is really cool.
That sounds super cool. And also the thing about like having less random encounters out of the Kingdom upgrade, like the number one problem with the first game was just the combat got so tedious. Like there was so much of it. Like it just
This one definitely feels a lot. I didn't say the first one.
It sounds like they realized that and just gave you all these tools to like circumvent it or just not have to deal with it as much.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
also they
That's
replaced
cool.
the combat completely with something else. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, which character are you using mostly?
I have switched up. So when I initially started, I was using, is his name Batu, the big axe guy?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay,
I
I was like there was a big axe guy who I was kind of having fun with, but I've switched back to Roland, who's kind of he's the first character you meet. He's the character I talked about last week
with the gun.
with the gun.
Yeah.
He's just a lot of fun. I'm a little disappointed that he hasn't really gotten a lot of attention in this story, because going in, I thought he was the most interesting character, and he's kind of framed as there's kind of 2 protagonists. The king is very much the center of the story. He's the one trying to unite these nations, but you're his advisor. You're the one who's like helping him along and teaching him morals and stuff, and kind of like, as a leader of a nation, I know
How
this
to be
and
the
this.
best
and
cat boy he can be.
Exactly.
All right.
But he really, outside of the initial like him meeting Evan and being like, I'm gonna help this world, he really hasn't gotten much in the main story. I hope that changes, and I've enjoyed the story so far, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of twist or character development he sees down the line. But I really am enjoying it so far. It's just still incredibly pretty to look at. Even like random townsfolk that you meet that aren't important in the story at all have really great design, really good music still.
How much voice acting is there?
Not enough.
Not
I wish there was a little bit more. They do a thing where like there's a lot of canned voice lines that are like, oh, indeed, I see, when that'll kind of match the theme of what they're saying.
But they still have the like long, fully animated cutscenes.
They do,
voice acted and stuff.
Kind of whenever
big
like
thing in the first one.
at the end or the start of a chapter, there's kind of or in the important plot points, there's still like some, your little fairy is a Cockney guy, and he walks around with like a little who looks like anime Lisa Simpson. I love him. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. I haven't had one of these RPGs that I've been able to sit down and just like lose an entire afternoon with in a long time. That's
great.
Cool. Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad to hear it holds up. I know a lot of people had some reservations because Studio Ghibli was not as involved in this one as the first one, but it sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Stick with it.
Cool. Y'all want to take a quick break?
Yeah,
let's go back and talk about some more stuff. Let's take a quick
break. Sometimes if I've got a long night in front of me, I like to put on a little something to listen to.
Okay.
Yeah. Having a little trouble falling asleep. I was like, hey, I'm going to stay up all night anyway. I'm a long haul trucker.
Pour yourself a warm glass of milk.
Yeah. And put on something like Wolverine, The Long Night.
Yeah.
Which is available now on Stitcher Premium.
Okay.
Yeah. Marvel is unveiling their first scripted podcast ever. Available exclusively on Stitcher Premium. Wolverine, The Long Night is going where no audio series has gone before. Alaska.
Oh, I was going to say Canada.
Yeah. No, it's Alaska. You want to be a part of this from the start. The gripping tale follows the story of Logan, who's a strange newcomer in the small towns of Burns, Alaska.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of small towns in Alaska. A lot of people know what everyone else is up to. So if a stranger with maybe some sort of mutant power were to show up, it would cause quite a stir.
Yeah, word would travel amongst like the 8 people that live in a place. And it's like, oh, this is not Anchorage, this isn't Juneau. So, everyone knows everybody. Who is this weirdo with the sideburns? In Burns, Alaska. Burns. Yeah.
Those Marvel guys.
I know. They know what they're up to. You'll be immersed into the heart of a murder investigation, following along as special agents explore a string of mysterious deaths around town.
Okay.
Yeah. And the series stars Richard Armitage as Wolverine, who you might know as Thorin Oakenshield from the Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah, the dwarf.
Okay.
The one dwarf from the Hobbit.
Okay. That sounds good to me. Plus, it also has Scott Adsit from 30 Rock.
Yeah.
And a special appearance from comedian and podcast host Chris Gethard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Gethard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can listen now. Head over to wolverinepodcast.com and use the code MARVEL for a free month of Stitcher Premium.
Jan, I hear you've been spending some time with the hottest of new releases.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Jason and I, as a thread on the site, that we've been messing around with the podcast computers, so stuff looks a little bit different here and there. So some fancy schmancy stuff. And just messing with some dumb things like adding a cartoon version of my face into UPF.
Oh, so great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So great. All made possible with NDI technology, which is something that we're utilizing with the new vMix computers. That's why we're able to pull up news stories and stuff. And granted, you can do that stuff with like a TriCaster, but we had like an ATEM, which is very, very basic.
Bare bones, like
real just kind of a switcher more than anything else, right? Yeah.
Video playback was maybe like 30 frames of
like literal frames. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a buffer and that was capacity. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun being able to just do what the hell we want to do, and stuff that we've been, had on the back burner for a long time. The cartoon thing was, not on the back burner for sure, but
there's other things in the back burner that I'm percolating in my head.
But yeah, it's cool seeing how powerful this is, and just we're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Jan-
So
Jan in
if
particular.
you're watching the video version of this podcast,
Mhm.
you'll see a slightly different. We don't see any of it. We don't have a program feed here, so it's just for
probably
us.
I don't believe
probably
that
for
it
the best.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
just-
convinced. I'm
yeah,
just talking into a
I've
microphone.
replaced you guys with cartoons of just my face now.
Oh
Yeah.
well,
So-
it's about time someone replaced me.
But dude,
Oh.
I'm
Take me
so
out back,
happy.
put a bullet in my head.
I'm so happy that Jan is here because we're finally able to put up like sound baffling and stuff. We've got
Yeah.
yeah, spots in there,
Upgrades.
so it's like
That's
yeah.
another game of
Putting
seeing
up-
how many fall today.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Putting a
fell
blanket
today.
over a fence.
Yep.
like
We
an
changed
adventure
around
game.
the green screen yesterday, and
It'll knock down some of the sound and maybe burn the building down. I don't know.
that's the hope.
Yeah.
We ran out of the spray adhesive, so we can't huff that anymore.
I'm
well.
still sticky from all of that. God damn it.
Yuck. Yuck.
Gross stuff.
That's
Anyway.
exciting stuff.
Yeah, it really is for us. Like, and a lot of it is still just like, you guys are never going to see it or anything, but just like, how we're, changing workflow and stuff like that, bending things to our will.
Mhm.
It's been great.
Awesome.
Smooth
Yeah.
out the pipeline.
Yep.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yep.
All right, let's move into the news for the week, such as it is. There's not a lot,
Okay.
but we'll get to it. It's the beginning of a new fiscal year.
Oh.
People ain't even had time to
Right.
make news yet.
No,
I should
yeah,
do my
exactly.
taxes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, also that. I should do that too.
I worked on my taxes for about 4 minutes over the weekend and was like, all right, I'll do this when I get back from
Was
Boston.
that the first 4 minutes you've put into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to LinkedIn message the only person I still knew working at my last company because they didn't have my current address to send
Oh, right.
tax
yes.
info to
Yikes.
because
Hey, if they never send you the W-2, you can't.
I don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that's how that works. What's the latest you guys have ever done your taxes?
I filed an
Oh,
extension
night
for the
before.
first time
Okay.
last year because
Yeah,
of
same.
extenuating circumstances around this time.
There was stuff there. I don't know if you did also,
Yeah, I
but
had to do an
I had to
extension
file
1 year.
extensions because
That was weird.
when we were getting bought by CBS and selling the company and all this other stuff, like
Stuff's
there's
up in
something
the air, yeah.
there's something about like the corporate taxes that aren't due until way later, so you suddenly have to file an extension because we couldn't do our personal taxes until the holding company that was still remaining after the company got sold to CBS. Like there was a bunch of weird.
I want to say we then missed the October deadline that you get with an extension
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
Which felt really weird. But
Yeah, and having someone like tell you it's fine, just don't
Yeah.
you'll get it, and you're like
Yeah.
okay,
I don't know, man. Yeah, mine's already filled out. I've already spent tax return for the most part.
nice.
Swagboard, huh?
Yeah. That's where that came
Get
from.
2 of them, and-
Shit.
yeah.
all right, here are the headlines that I managed to scrape from the
All
bottom
right.
of the barrel. Speaking of barrels, somebody has hit max rank in Sea of Thieves.
Donkey Kong,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a new Donkey Kong.
barrel
coming out.
aficionado.
Also. Actually,
What-
there are people did dig up a bunch of Donkey Kong references in Sea of Thieves. I don't know if you guys saw.
No
No, it's got bananas.
Yes,
barrels.
that's totally a reference to Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Bananas.
What do you get for max rank?
You know the quests in Sea of Thieves?
Yeah,
What if you could do longer versions of those same quests?
do I have to?
No.
That's not a
You
fun
definitely don't.
face.
Somebody, a streamer called Prodigy X, hit. So you have to hit. It turns out you have to hit rank 50 with all 3 factions, which is a lot of Sea of Thieves to play. I salute this guy for coming up with the strategy of getting his viewers to collect treasure for him and then have him join their games so he could turn in their treasure and get the rep.
Smart.
A lot of people got mad that he did that. I think that's an amazing.
That's a pirate ass move.
Dude, totally.
It beats doing the stuff that there is to do in Sea of Thieves.
Also that.
So you played some more of that. It sounded like you
I
actually
tried.
had some good
I
times.
tried. So like
Tried to have a good time, or
the
you
game
actually had a
game
good
picked
time?
up such a bad rep like right out of the gate that
Yeah.
it got really tough to get people together to play it.
Uh-huh.
And when we finally did, like I was like, all right, finally, we got 4 like-minded people together. We're gonna Adventures in the High Seas. Let's do this. And like by 90 minutes in, I think all of us were saying, well, probably the last time
That
to
was
play of
Sea
that
of Thieves. Okay.
until they add something else.
Yeah.
Like it just we ran into one ship and sunk it, and that was cool. But
Okay.
in an hour and a half,
Okay.
we saw the one ship.
Yeah.
And we did a bunch of the quests, and they were all the same,
Great.
as everybody knows. And then, yeah, you put in the hours and hours and hours and hit pirate legend status and get to go to the cool underground.
And that's the guy in front of the door that's
Yeah.
like, hey, when you become a legend, come back and see me.
Yes.
And then,
So the coolest thing about all of this that I've read in here is that you get a new shanty, when you hit
Oh,
legend
okay.
status.
All right.
Yeah.
Sick.
And you have to go up and play the new shanty to that dude, and he opens a secret passage, and
Okay.
you go to the Tavern of
Is it
Legends.
Wonderwall?
Probably.
Yeah.
I hope so.
On the accordion.
Is Heaven Beside You by Alice in Chains? I don't know.
And then
I'm good.
You get to that new area, and yeah, apparently the quests they offer are just longer versions of the same quests with harder skeletons.
Yeah, my understanding is that it kind of works together the objectives from the existing quest types into longer adventures of just like, now do a treasure, now fight a skeleton, now do this, instead of splitting those up into
faction.
3 discrete factions.
Yeah.
Which, what the fuck?
I don't know. Yeah, we kind of had a good time with it that first weekend it was out for that one time we played it, but it was too much of a struggle to find the good stuff.
How long do you guys think Microsoft has to like really pump something into this game? Or
It depends
where?
on what the outcome is. If you're saying like to like turn it around fully and have it be this big thing, they're past it.
Okay.
In terms of just like getting the existing player base to stick with it, they've got some time.
Okay.
Pirates,
and
I
then
don't know.
maybe they'll pull some people back along the way. But
Do you think they talk about it at E3 at all? Like, hey, we're adding this cool thing,
This-
Sea of
this mode,
Thieves.
this,
Check this
uh,
out.
Battle Royale
Yes,
mode or
yeah,
something,
sure.
yeah.
Maybe they could have like, here's our big first content
Yeah.
edition. I don't know.
They made a big pivot with Fortnite well after that was soft
true,
launch.
yeah.
At the same time, yeah.
but
that
that's
was-
such a
that-
rarity.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
unusual.
don't.
Speaking, I actually don't know if this isn't. Did you see the Path of Exile Battle Royale thing they added for April Fools?
No.
Oh, did they actually put it in?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
fully playable,
Alright,
and I heard some people
Oh,
say
it
like,
functioned?
yeah,
Okay.
I heard some people say it was like actually pretty fun. Like,
Yeah.
Did they take it out? Was it just for that day?
I don't know. I
It's
haven't
a
seen it.
dangerous joke. Yeah. You're like, actually, this is pretty fun. It's better than your whole game.
Like I saw, like Astroneer also did a battle royale joke, but I don't think they actually went to the trouble of implementing the mode.
Mm.
That's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Like, think about how much work it would take to generate the content that game needs.
And
Like they can't get
why
that.
did the game ship? Did it just ship because they already
Nice
had a
ship.
date set in stone
Nice.
for Xbox Game Pass stuff to happen, and they needed like what happened first? Did the game come in content light, and then they said let's make it part of Game Pass, or did they say let's make it part of Game Pass and you're shipping on this day no matter what? And then they just didn't have content ready. Like
I don't know.
What is the?
I don't know.
I want to go back. I guess it came up on Giant Bomb Infinite recently. I think it was the 2015 Microsoft press conference.
I think that's when they announced it, right?
They announced a lot of stuff
Yes.
that did not happen. And
For that game in
for
particular?
for all games
Was
for
it the same
first
as
party.
Scalebound?
That was probably around.
you know what?
There probably was some that was the year where they made a bunch of announcements that kind of didn't occur.
I actually pulled an email 2 weeks ago on the show.
Yeah, I think we talked.
Did we
about
read that email, or
I
did
think
I
so.
skip it?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go back because I want to go back and watch that and just kind of see
I'm trying to find it
like
because
what's the list of games.
I've got that list. If I can just find this email
Okay.
real fast.
Yeah, it's
Because if you think about it, there was
Here it
like a
is.
lot of stuff. There was like your Phantom Dusts and your Scale Bounds, and like they had a lot of stuff in the works that just I don't know
like what are they doing?
what happened. Well, I mean, like they're not developing all those games at Microsoft internally, so like if
But
all
they
those
are
games,
allocating resources
Yeah.
and
But
like
if-
dev help. And,
like what did everything go sideways all at once, and then they were like, all right, we got to pick up the pieces on this, and it's going to take some number of years for us to right the ship, and. Is this
ship.
E3 and is this E3 the year where they come back with announcements of new stuff on account of
None of that stuff
otherwise
came
what
out.
are they doing?
Yeah.
well, they don't even have a booth anymore.
No, they have a whole building now.
Yeah.
They got a building that is bigger than their booth ever was.
I mean, there has to be a Halo 6 this year, right?
I would assume
It was 3 years between 4 and 5, and it's been 3 years.
Yeah,
of this
I
holiday
think
will be
I
3
think
years.
it makes sense for them to finish the fight again.
Yes. Finish.
Oh, this is the last time they're gonna finish the fight, right? Well,
Probably.
For really real.
Until
this
there's
time.
another fight.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like, I don't know.
Right, like
they
that.
do.
Like they're also there's been some time since Gears, so normally you wouldn't think you would do a Halo and Gears thing at the same E3.
But you think they just have to because they don't have anything else?
I have no idea.
But
I
also,
mean,
that sounds
those-
like the least interesting thing.
Well, yeah, but
to
those
me.
are studios that they have dedicated to
Yeah.
those games. So it's like a safe bet. Hey, guess what? There's going to be more Gears of War.
Yeah.
Guess what? There's going to be more Halo.
They've got that one game with the shoutcasting from Jethro Tull.
That is out, and they're not publishing that. That is in game preview right now. Project Darwin's out on PC also.
Never mind.
Yeah,
It's true.
That came out a couple of weeks ago.
Hang on, I've got an email about
Or
this topic.
it's in early access,
Sure.
but it's available.
It's already dead.
Yeah, I did not hear a lot of people talking about it after its release. I couldn't say one way or the other.
I had no idea it was out.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and read this email now from James in Memphis. Much of Microsoft's early Xbox One blunders were blamed on Don Mattrick.
Mm-hmm.
However, ever since Phil Spencer has taken over and the Mattrick era projects have seen their course, Microsoft still hasn't hit any exclusive bangers for the Xbox One. Is it time for Phil Spencer to be taking the blame for Xbox One's poor first-party output?
I mean, he just changed positions and moved up, which if they were blaming him for this stuff, that wouldn't necessarily be the case.
Yeah. He's been there, 3 years?
That sounds... Well, he's been there longer than
No,
that.
I mean,
but in the role?
running the division.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I feel like they had so much ground to make up on the platform side.
Yeah, totally.
Like price, Connect,
Yeah.
always all the stuff that held that thing back early on.
But also, you wonder if maybe they scrambled to get a bunch of games in the pipeline, spend a bunch of money on stuff like Scalebound, get out there, start making those projects happen, and then at some point did none of the bets they placed come in a meaningful way? So to the point where they were like we have to cut Scalebound. It's just not going to do anything for us. Yeah. Unless we dump way more money into it, and even then, there's no guarantee. At some point, it was a cut your losses sort of thing. Yeah. Phantom Dust, that stuff started getting documented a little bit in terms of the original developer of that remake being cut off and replaced. All that stuff.
Do you guys have any idea how the Xbox version of PUBG is doing? Because they went hard on that.
Yeah, they announce numbers every so often, and,
Yeah.
and they've got millions of players of that or millions
So
of owners of it.
that would be a
That's a bet that they placed
Yeah.
that presumably is
Seems
paying
to.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember that sometimes because it's just not the version of the game I would want to play.
yeah. Or the game that most people turns out would want to play.
I guess, yeah, maybe. I wonder if Fortnite Xbox is bigger.
I would bet.
I mean, it's free, so I guess that would
Yeah.
make sense. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to lay blame with any single person at Microsoft with the way stuff has gone, but it's hard not to look at it and go okay, so yeah, you're right. They had their initial launch issue to deal with around hardware and messaging and platform and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, Sony kind of just was off to the races with install base and they did their thing. Microsoft has started laying the groundwork, making better moves, making smarter moves, doing interesting things. Xbox Game Pass is a really interesting move for them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that move only stays interesting if they've got the games to back it up. And now they're at this weird period where they placed a bunch of those bets. A lot of those games got killed. What you look at the studios that they have set up around specific games and those are still humming along. I'm sure Halo 6 will be fine. I'm sure another Gears will be fine at minimum, right? But yeah,
Probably a new Forza Horizon this year.
probably a Forza Horizon, right? Yeah.
And then what? I don't know.
And then what?
Maybe they just surprise the hell out of us.
Banjo 3,
I think
yeah.
State of Decay 2 looks fucking awesome, but that's a $30 kind of niche management sim sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's not going to move the needle.
Yeah, do you think a
I
new
don't-
Banjo
I
would?
don't-
And that's also coming to other
Move some
stuff,
needles.
right? I mean, that's coming to PC and whatever. I guess everything kind of is coming to PC.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's not a
Yeah.
maybe that's not a meaningful statement, but
I think they burned all their Banjo bridges.
Really?
Yeah. With
You don't think a brand new
with nuts
Banjo
and
that
bolts.
returns to?
Oh, if
its
they
roots?
just made,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Not after Ukulele did what it did, and
what does return to the roots mean for a 3D platformer?
yeah,
Well,
Well, I mean,
it's
Mario
ukulele.
Odyssey.
Yeah. Odyssey did great.
that's Mario though.
I know.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, they've got so much sunk cost with Sea of Thieves now. They've
Yeah.
got to rescue that thing.
Yeah.
They've got to.
but there's no guarantee that Rare makes a new Banjo. They own the
That's
IP.
true, that's
You
true.
think about
Right.
it as a Rare game, but if they're
Yeah.
going to be all hands on deck
Ah,
Man.
for
Man.
Sea of Thieves for a good long time now.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they
Then-
abandoned ship.
Scuttle it. Run it aground.
I mean, they've got to start bailing water as soon as they can.
God damn.
That goes without saying.
I'm shutting this down.
And it's an online game, so you can't really pirate it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Damn it. Damn it.
Just hope the rare pantry is stocked with orange juice so they don't get scurvy.
Too far.
What does that even mean anymore?
I don't
Like
even
we're
know.
over this is so far gone.
Yes.
We've jumped the shark.
Yay, he brought it back.
E3, it'll be.
I was just gonna say, it's just a real skeleton of a game.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they announce at E3. Maybe some Sea of Thieves stuff because there ain't much there.
Yeah, like yeah. What are they up to? What's going on? That this is potentially a big E3 for Microsoft, just in terms of just like one way or the other, like just checking in, like what's the strategy for games on that platform?
Yeah.
Is it just, hey, we're going to continue to invest in third-party stuff?
Like you've got everything else in place at this point. You've got the most powerful console on the market.
Yeah.
You've got a $10 a month service that gets you everything.
All the first-party stuff.
The first party
Yeah,
puts
yeah.
out. Like you've got everything in place
Yeah.
except for a roster of games.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope they don't go in just saying, "Hey, check out what we got," and just shows us the Game Pass and just shows us the most powerful console. Because this is very much like a progress report. Like this is how they are under disciplinary action, and they need to account for like what's been going on over there.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Here's a question for you guys about E3. How often do we hear Fortnite or Battle Royale? Is it going to be as prevalent as like it is to the mainstream,
By
or
here,
since it's a,
Do
like,
you mean somebody mentions
during conferences people talk about parallels or like
or do you actually mean battle royale games and modes getting announced?
that too?
Okay.
Just like because I mean that's the thing, right? Like a lot of games are pivoting towards that. Is this the first E3 where it's like a big thing?
Like, are we going to get our Infinite Crisis of battle royale
Yes.
games out of E3 this year? Just like everybody jumping on the
Because
bandwagon.
that's what a lot of people are speculating, right? Like this is the new MOBA, this
Yeah.
is the new WoW,
Yeah.
this is the new trend that is gonna go like this and then go like that. But is it actually gonna go like this? This
I
E3?
think we'll see some. Yeah, I don't think like Fortnite by name, like in terms of just like will Fortnite be on a press conference stage? Like not really. They're doing their own thing. They're doing their like celebrity Fortnite tournament.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Still, if one of these guys signs any kind of exclusive deal,
They already Fortnite's already a PlayStation thing.
Yeah,
like they
sure.
already kind of did that with the initial thing.
You're right.
So
And plus,
but I don't think that's something that like they don't have stuff left to say. Well, whatever. I guess I don't know, but like you wouldn't say that stuff on Sony's stage.
Right.
It's not, it's out there, it's established. Like
Yeah.
there's maybe you revisit it for a moment.
And it's cross-platform now completely.
yeah, I wouldn't
No.
No.
be
Still
not
Okay.
Not
PS4 to Xbox.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised too if Epic is pouring a lot of resources into the mobile
Right.
version right now because it is so popular and
That is
easy
now
to-
that is now open
that came
on
out,
iPhone
Man.
and iPad, I guess. Still not on Android, but yeah.
They're used to that. Android users.
Oh yeah, that's
Also, E3 is like 2 months away. Amazingly.
I am excited.
Yeah, I mean,
Me too.
it's a.
E3.
I was gonna say it's a weird year, but it's like a transitional year. It's like a in between. Like hardware is
Well,
out.
It's
It's not time for new hardware.
I don't
like,
quite know what to expect
Yeah, like
because
how-
hardware is in a weird place.
Like even the Switch has been out for over a year now. It's
Right.
like, all right, now everybody just needs to fill the time with a
in
bunch
theory,
of games.
it should be game.
Yeah.
At a lot of those press conferences, and there's stuff that Sony said at Paris Games Week that they haven't like followed up on. There's stuff from even before that.
Mhm.
Where is Wild?
Where is Wild?
Where is Wild?
Man,
Where in the
remember
world?
Wild?
Who's putting out Wild?
Yeah.
What happened to
Wild. That's
fucking
so wild.
Juggalo fucking murder simulator
Yeah.
or whatever the
Yeah.
Ubisoft's first independent or the first press conference from being free from the Vivendi shit.
You should just walk out on stage and said, "You motherfuckers should have killed us while you had the
Exactly,
chance."
yeah. Wildlands here too. Clunk. And it's like, wait, that's a weird thing to confirm. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, like whatever, man. Like, I think that end of the industry is in a weird or in a really fascinating place, like where E3 I think will fill in a lot of blanks. Some E3s you come into it kind of going like, oh well, you know, it's kind of a bygone conclusion in a lot of ways. Like, oh, they've got to announce this, they've got to announce this. Like, I think there's elements of Microsoft's strategy that are just a mystery right now, and I think that makes it really exciting. I think Sony is kind of still doing its thing. Either you're into those first party games or not. But I think they've probably, well, I guess whatever. God of War will be out.
Yeah.
So they've definitely got room for announcements. Like, will Detroit be out by then?
Ooh.
Or,
So.
they can't devote more fucking stage time to that thing.
Surely
right?
not. It
Like,
will.
It will be out.
Comes
Okay.
out like
All right.
2 weeks before E3.
Then the DLC can
Okay.
be on stage there.
There you go.
go.
I mean, you know, they've got Last of Us. They
Right.
yeah.
Right.
they delayed Days Gone, so they'll probably maybe have that.
What are the
sick of
odds
seeing
that you
that
see
game.
a trailer start on that stage and you're not sure if it's Days Gone or Last of Us 2?
High,
Okay.
very high.
Yeah.
I would say.
Will Spider-Man be out?
Oh yeah, I don't think so. So that'll probably be there.
They're announcing, I think, the date.
Okay.
Game Informer, it's on their cover. They just announced that this morning.
Okay.
And I think they've got the date reveal
Okay.
this week or something.
I
but
really want that game to be good.
it sure looked cool.
It looks.
Yeah.
I mean, graphically, it looks fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I like that it's not
Fair
like,
amount
tied
of-
to a movie or anything. It's its own
Yeah.
story.
Fair number of QuickTime events in the demo I saw.
Yeah.
But, but also a lot of like Batman Arkham looking type stuff as well. So
that's
oh, I don't.
that is not.
No, I don't mean in the sense that it's
Okay.
the combat.
Yeah.
More
yeah.
just like, okay, here is gameplay that leverages a bunch of the unique
Got it.
traits of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay.
In some cool ways.
All right.
Like that's kind of what I meant.
If it is, yeah, because if it's a version of that Batman combat, I don't know.
I mean, it does have
Yeah.
group melee combat.
Right.
Don't get me
It's-
wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it
put
was-
up a web thing
but
to stun him.
It seemed
and do
more
this
about
to
like
this guy.
yeah, it seemed
and
more
this
about
to-
like stringing guys up on walls with your
I
webs.
think it worked a little bit in Lord of the Rings.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, like that combat works for a reason. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's bad combat.
You're just saying.
I'm just
you need
saying
more than that.
you want
there's
a little
been
more
a lot of
something
it.
inspired.
It would be cool to see something. It would be cool to be something to feel the way you felt when that first Arkham game came out, and you're like, "Holy shit,
Yeah.
this combat is fucking incredible!" Like
They've got-
something that was on that level.
They've got
in
the
a different way.
swinging. Like they're out there saying like, "Hey, we played all the PS1, PS2 games in designing this." Like we no, I mean like they're
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
we
yeah,
know, we know
yes,
how
yeah.
bad people want the swinging
Right.
to be good.
Yeah, because
And we-
they played all the ones where it was not, and the
Or,
ones where
well,
it was.
Maybe
The
I'm,
one where it was.
maybe I'm misquoting, but they
Yeah.
definitely seem to know what people want out of the open world stuff.
I hope so.
Uh,
Yeah, whatever. There have been great Spider-Man games before,
Yeah.
so that's a good ass team
Yeah.
at making games. That's a property that can be great. So yeah.
Indeed. Let's see here. They're making a new Pixel Junk Monsters.
New one, cool.
Speaking of PlayStation games, I guess. Although
like a new Monsters, not a new Pixel Junk blank.
yeah,
No,
no,
it's
yeah,
just Monsters 2.
Pixel
Cool.
Junk Monsters 2. It is a straight up sequel. It's got that same dude.
Yeah.
Did you like that game?
Yeah.
I feel like I generally feel like I'm the
Mhm.
only one that is way into tower
I've
defense.
liked
here, but-
most of the Pixel Junk games.
Yeah.
quite
That
a
was
bit.
kind of the one where I was finally like, oh man.
I like tower
like
defense
that.
games.
I like Pixel Junk Monsters
Yeah.
a lot. It is hard as fuck.
It really
It
is.
is
Yeah.
really fucking hard. But they're making a new one.
Cool.
There you go.
PC and
Yeah.
PS4.
Yeah, PC,
Yeah.
PS4, and Switch actually.
Okay.
Oh,
Being
yeah,
published-
Switch.
Being published by Spike Chunsoft, which like
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
just further confuses me as to who owns the Pixel Junk name and all that stuff.
Not Sony.
Yeah, I guess not.
Turns out.
I
yeah.
always thought Sony owned all
Q
that
Games
stuff.
is supposed to.
Synonymous,
Yeah.
How'd
apparently
they
not.
announce with a trailer? or
I guess
with
it got announced at
gameplay, or-
GDC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess they were showing it to some people at GDC who saw it and said it looks amazing because it all looks
Yeah.
like stop motion animation and stuff.
I wanted
cool.
to see it.
And it's coming out at the end of May.
Oh, wow.
So that is awesome.
Okay. That's very soon.
Yeah, I think I'd pick that up on Switch for sure. The
Yeah.
idea of playing that on the go.
Yeah,
seems
like
cool.
get it on Switch and go to E3 and play it on
Oh,
Switch.
Okay.
yeah.
But-
And not go to any of the anything.
Yeah.
I had to make all my packing decisions for flights and stuff for PAX today, and did not bring my Switch.
oh wow, huh?
There was nothing on it. Like I looked at everything I had installed, which
Yeah.
was everything I own on the Switch, and was like, no, I'm
Trying to
okay.
think. I guess it's been a while
And
since
I-
a really big, like marquee Switch game, right?
Kirby.
I played the Kirby. I downloaded the Kirby demo over the weekend.
Yeah.
And played the first level and about 30 seconds of the second level, and I was
Mhm.
like, all right, that's cool.
Got your
Yeah.
fill, huh?
And then I deleted the demo.
Yeah,
It seems fine.
I grabbed my 3DS because I'm still about halfway through a run of Picross 3D
Okay.
2,
All right.
and was like, that's a game I want to play on a plane.
Fair.
Uh,
A lot of good games on the 3DS.
Detective Pikachu.
yeah, that thing.
That's weird.
It's weird.
I like
It
it.
seems great. But
Yeah, it,
Jan likes it.
yeah.
I drink my coffee the same way Detective Pikachu does.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
just black. I kind of have a gravelly voice. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
become a detective.
Pokemon are just like us.
They had at that Toys R Us I went to, they had a bunch of the gigantic fucking Detective Pikachu amiibo,
Cool.
which are like twice as tall and wide as a regular amiibo. It's a
my God.
big ass fucking
Why?
Pikachu
Why?
because it's Detective Pikachu. I don't know.
know.
And I looked at it for a minute and I was like, I could have a Detective Pikachu.
You could.
And I did not buy a Detective Pikachu.
Now you
I
don't
wised up.
have
I
one.
was like, oh, thanks. Thanks me for not falling into that trap.
Not a trap.
They announced out of the blue this morning that Warner Brothers announced that they're yanking all the microtransactions out of Shadow of War. That hot game that everybody is still
Yeah.
talking about every day.
Well, to be fair, I
Specifically-
just referenced
Yeah.
it minutes
Well,
ago.
that's, okay, sure.
But for the first time, and
yeah.
probably the week after it
It's
came
weird because like what they said about it, you read it and you're like, yeah, no, this
Yeah.
was apparent week one.
Right.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the fuck?
Like the reasoning is like, hey, we realize the Nemesis system is the thing that makes this game special, and the microtransactions undermine the Nemesis system.
no shit.
So we're going to take it out. It's like, all right, that might have been a good realization to have before the game came out. But
Or like in the weeks when you heard people, that was their main complaint
Right.
about the game.
I guess the
Weird.
bigger thing to me is at this point, like, what are they going to accomplish with this?
Is it like some last ditch attempt at like saving some kind of face so they can make another one?
I don't know.
And they're like,
'cause-
Well, they
are
also
are they
were
trying to make good
watching
on
a
it?
graph
Exactly.
of,
Yeah. I mean,
oh,
like,
nobody's
no
buying
one's
shit
buying
anymore.
this shit.
I don't know, like
Or I can't imagine they're making that they have ever made significant money off of those microtransactions.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I hear about microtransactions in the game,
okay.
it's always like,
maybe
you'd
it launched.
be surprised
maybe,
by
yeah, maybe it launched. Someone went fuck it and bought a bunch of orcs or whatever. But like long term,
Yeah.
no.
when people are buying the game used for
Right.
30, 40 bucks and then not additionally pumping in microtransaction money.
I guess, I mean, to me, like, the bad PR already happened. You know, like,
Right,
they got drugged through the mud already. Like, this isn't going to fix that. So what's the incentive to do it now? I don't.
It almost seems like an attempt to try to get a little bit of good PR
Maybe.
out of this bad situation.
Or maybe they have some sort of
uninteresting
expansion
situation.
coming, like, they're planning on releasing some sort of...
I've actually heard the DLC is pretty good.
Okay.
Weirdly, like, I almost want to check it out
Hmm.
because it's a different character, different setting, different everything.
Oh.
So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get people to notice that or
Yeah.
something. They're also redoing that Shadow Wars mode at the end. That is the insane grind for like 10 hours
Yeah.
to get the ending. That they are going to, quote, improve it with new narrative elements and streamline it for a more cohesive experience.
I wonder if this is just like
shorten it. Okay.
like
Yeah.
are they trying to take a Ubisoft style treatment to this and
Maybe,
be like,
maybe.
hey, if we just do right by the game, eventually things will be okay.
That's possible.
If it doesn't make good on this game, at least eventually we'll have more testing, we'll have more data to look at about what happened to this game after we made this change. That'll inform what we do next. Like I wonder.
It's weird timing for all this.
I wonder what this means for some of the other stuff that they've done, that Warner has done with microtransactions
Right.
around Mortal Kombat with their easy fatality coins.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And the Injustice Crystal stuff, which never seemed great.
I wonder if NetherRealm is like making some frantic last-minute changes to that whole model for whatever they've got coming.
Yeah, I wonder.
Next.
Well, you would imagine that like, or was this a change that like, did someone at the top at Warner Brothers pick up a newspaper one day and read all that Battlefront shit and just say, we need to get out of this business now.
Yeah.
In case it goes bad, all the way bad, let's be ahead of this, air quotes.
I think that's totally part of it, and I think they've been meaning to do that for a while, but I'm sure they got spurred. Once they saw the bars going down, it's like, well, they're not really buying any of this shit anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and do a make good.
Maybe it is just a reaction to that.
I don't know how
think
much
so.
of a make good it is because they're not giving any refunds on, like, if you've bought
Well,
currency, if you've got
you just
paid
have it.
currency sitting there,
You know what I mean?
you can't get the money back for it.
But it does turn into items,
Yes.
or it will turn into
Yes.
something for you at some point.
You can spend it up to July 17th, but then it'll automatically turn into stuff after that. But
Yeah.
weird timing.
The more I think about it, the more I bet it is very much like a reaction to the Battlefront stuff in terms of just like let's see what it looks like.
We don't want lawmakers poking their nose around,
and they're like, oh, it's going to take us some time to actually do this right, and they took some time to.
If anything,
change that war mode or whatever.
Yeah, they're probably thankful that Battlefront 2 happened, right? Because before that, they were the poster child for shitty microtransactions.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Battlefront
they
came
were kind
along
of
and took the heat off.
Yeah, they were definitely crossing that line before EA.
Yeah,
set fire to the line.
Yes. No Man's Sky is coming to Xbox. And alongside that news, they announced No Man's Sky Next.
Yeah.
Coming for this summer with like basically no details other than to say that it's
I need deets,
they said it was big enough for them to give it a subtitle, basically.
Yeah.
They're like, this is a huge thing, so we feel comfortable slapping that new name on it.
It says by far our biggest update so far. So
yeah,
some of those updates have been pretty big, so I'm actually really curious to see what it is.
Yeah, I was very close to actually playing, like last Friday or Thursday, I can't remember. I was talking about wanting to play No Man's Sky, and one of you all brought up that they announced this, and so I was like, okay, I guess I can wait another 3 months.
Yeah, it's not too far off. I've had that game on the brain a lot recently too, and this is
potentially
exciting.
Last week you were out, but we had a lot of questions, or a lot of people writing in basically saying, hey, Sea of Thieves is the next No Man's Sky. How do you feel about it? I think you probably played more of both of those games than I did.
A fair amount of both.
I don't feel like they're quite the same in terms of just like promised content that didn't get delivered, like in any aspect of it. Like I see where people are coming from.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like a clean comparison.
Yeah, if anything, Sea of Thieves presented itself pretty clearly because we all went into the release saying, hey, this looks like it may not have any content.
Well, yeah, I think that's if anything, like the mystery was more like, they can't possibly be shipping it like this, can they? And then they did, and you're like, oh.
Like they were almost honest to a fault about what that game was. Whereas like all the anger around No Man's Sky was because people felt misled over what was going to be in it. That said, I would say there is less content in Sea of Thieves than there was in No Man's Sky. By a fair amount at release.
I certainly don't get a chill, relaxed experience from Sea of Thieves.
You do not?
Do not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was searching for like combat and stuff, and like it's PvP, right? I think it's a completely different.
Yeah, I mean that's a game where you can get got anywhere.
Oh sure,
you
yes,
go.
yes.
Like,
It can.
No Man's Sky is very much like it can be I'm just gonna sit here and sink into this chair and see space or whatever.
I really want to. They put out a handful of screenshots along with this, which like kind of just look like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
But like one of them is of a big capital ship, so I wonder what that means. They also, like Sean Murray sent out an email with stuff about this in it, and part of it is so for one thing they are announcing they're going to be on the 10-cent Steam equivalent Wii game,
right?
Which seems like a big deal for them. And then they also link to like they mentioned this ARG, that's been running for a while. And they linked to this weartech.cloud site. Did you click through to that?
No.
And it looks like this. It's all in Chinese. And he just sort of coyly just like, a lot of people have been keeping up with this ARG. And like, maybe it has something to do with, I don't know. There's a picture of a woman sleeping.
Wearing some
sort of visor thing around her head.
But not like over her eyes, like around her forehead.
Yeah. Also it says GPU right here.
GPU.
Wear-tech.cloud is this website, and
WARE?
Yeah, WARE-tech.cloud.
Yeah,
is what he is pointing to as potentially having something to do with.
Okay,
I see USB Type-C amid all this Chinese text.
I'm not gonna I am happy to take a look at No Man's Sky next when it comes out.
Yeah, it's hard to
I'm not going to engage with it
like,
until
am I just falling for it? Am I just falling for it again?
I think so, maybe.
Like I'm getting excited about what the No Man's Sky is going to be.
Like I'm like Ben, where I've been thinking about coming back to No Man's Sky and just like looking in on it because I haven't checked it out since like the first patch or first or second patch or something, and it sounds like they've made a lot of changes to it. That would be interesting to just start a new game and just see what it is.
So I was kind of talking to some people on a message board recently who have kept up with it.
A message board.
My mistake was that every time I came back to it, I just loaded my original save because like you scan a bunch of planets, you've got stuff, you don't want to give up. But everybody says like no, you have to start a new game because that's how they roll out all the new story stuff to you. And
that makes sense. I mean, like in the save I have, I think Were they pearls? What the fuck do you collect in that game?
The
Bowling balls?
the Atlas
Atlaspheres.
something like that. Atlas token, Atlas sphere, or something.
Whatever the fuck it is. So I had gotten a lot of those.
Yeah.
And
Right, you don't want to give that stuff up, but apparently it's.
But
not,
I do because like they're meaningless.
Apparently it's not.
And I know what happens when you finish the game, so it's
sure.
like that stuff clearly doesn't matter.
Yeah, it sounds like that stuff isn't even that relevant anymore.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I will give it a look when it comes out,
Yeah.
and they're right to announce stuff, but I feel like there's still like the idea that like one would engage with an ARG about this game, given the way it came out originally. Like
Seems like the perfect way to get your hopes crushed again.
Yeah, no, put it in the game. We'll play the game.
Yes.
And it sounds like they are at least aware of that.
Yeah.
Like I think there's in the stuff that they sent out and stuff they said about it, I think there was a real element of just like, we're going to talk about it just enough to remind you that just enough to let you know it's coming. But hey, we're going to work on the thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's yes.
You guys ever get wrapped up in ARGs? Like for real?
No.
No, the concept, intrigues me for sure, but yeah, it's a lot.
I think I Love
real
Bees
world
was the
dedication.
closest.
Which one?
I Love Bees.
That was the Halo one.
Halo
right,
2.
Right. Yeah.
But that was the first one that I remember ever seeing.
I had a friend who wrote some stuff, and it always sounded really fun
Yeah.
to be on that end of it and doing like dead drops and all the other weird shit.
I got really into a Lost one. It was like between seasons, and much to my surprise, it didn't lead anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I would want to know that there was some kind of cool payoff at the end, but there kind of never is,
You
right?
never know.
At this point, I like following them, even after the fact, just like walking through the paces and seeing what people did to get thing. Like the Frog Faction stuff I thought was really neat.
That one was really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Netflix is making a Carmen Sandiego movie
Where?
In the world.
all over the place.
What in time? Like when?
From Belize to Carolina.
And back.
How's the theme song go?
I don't know.
I was watching clips of that show on YouTube this morning in the wake of this news.
Will Rockapella be in it?
Yeah, that's the
That's
obvious.
my
That's the
question.
only joke you can make, right? Is
That's not a joke. Don't fucking joke about Rockapella.
I found a clip of Rockapella from a couple of years ago singing the Carmen Sandiego theme song, and it's been a long time since Carmen Sandiego was on TV.
They then followed up with like, here's our version of "Tempted by the Fruit of Another."
Yeah, it's been a while since that show was on.
Have they announced who is?
Yeah,
who is?
Gina Rodriguez is playing Carmen Sandiego.
That is.
Jane the Virgin.
Oh,
I guess she was in Annihilation, which I haven't seen yet.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in anything, but
How about the Chief?
I don't know.
The original chief has since passed away.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Man.
So that
Well, still,
That's a sad.
yeah,
That's
still
a bummer.
use him.
Anyway,
her.
Sorry.
Carmen Sandiego was cool.
Yeah, it's.
I would watch that.
I guess like at this point, it kind of has to like if it's going to have references to stuff, it kind of has to be that TV show and not the games.
Yeah.
It's weird. I feel like that Carmen Sandiego's whole second act was not as a video game.
Yeah, it was that.
It was
TV
just
show.
here's this game show thing for
Like,
kids, and
seemed like it got way more attention than
That's kind
the
of
computer games ever did.
my only experience with it.
Yeah.
same.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell of a show though.
Yes, absolutely.
If you like kids standing on maps,
Yeah.
it's a fucking
Yeah,
dope show.
okay.
running around with those little
Yeah.
things and
Yep.
plopping them down on different countries. Man, that was cool. All right, I saved the most important news for last. A year after release, Snake Pass has gotten a new icon on the Switch.
Are you serious?
I know.
Finally,
That's what I said.
my letter writing campaign worked. You're welcome.
What was the matter with the first one?
It was not pretty enough.
Fucking so they launched with an icon. At some point, they patched the game and changed the icon.
To
What
a
game
worse
is this?
icon.
Snake Pass. It's that
which
kind
is
of
a cool,
platformery.
neat,
you control a
niche-
snake. You can coil it around stuff.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's neat.
Physics-based,
It's a good game.
puzzle-y,
Are you guys fucking
platformy
with me?
kind of.
I'm not
No,
fucking
dude,
with you.
Snake Pass is
Okay.
pretty
Snake Pass.
fresh.
Yeah, it's
All
cool.
right.
And at one point, they changed it to the fucking like head of character looking to the left mobile game presentation.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
But
Making
it was
sort of a
the-
DreamWorks face.
But it was a
or-
snake.
Oh, okay.
It was a snake kind of making a DreamWorks face. Not. I'd have to go back and look.
People
to
have
know.
very specific needs as pertain to Switch icons.
And people got fucking all bent out of shape. Like, I can't believe you would ruin it. Like, there were some people that took the tack of like, you made it look like a mobile game. This cheapens my experience. Or compared to all the other icons on my Switch screen, this looks like garbage. I refuse to leave it installed
Like,
on my
I just-
Switch because of what you've done.
I love the image of people just like gazing longingly at their Switch dashboard for like hours on end.
the fuck. So they changed it back.
Uh,
They teased it
Yes, that was like they were almost like trolling people on Twitter.
Good.
And
good. Those
and
people deserve to be trolled.
They changed it back. This isn't like, hey, we've made a new icon alongside some other patch. This was just like, oh, here you go.
I
We
mean,
found the old ping PNG
Yeah.
and
like my favorite things about this are they were trolling people with like very pixelated images on,
Teasers for the fucking.
and then my other favorite thing is that they waited a year to do this.
they should have just flipped it around like horizontally. Or
That would have
something,
been
just
way
the
better.
Same picture.
Uh,
Then I would have gone and downloaded Snake Pass if
Yeah.
that was the case.
okay, great. Now on to the next one, Sonic Mania. Let's talk about it. That icon looks like shit.
Does it cheapens my
Hang
experience?
on.
Yeah.
Makes it look like a mobile game. Sonic is doing a DreamWorks face.
Hang
It's
on.
awful.
Sonic Mania Switch icon. Oh wow, yeah, huh?
It's just big Sonic head. It's gross.
Yeah,
That's great.
I don't know.
That's great.
It sucks.
That's great.
It's got the color scheme's got some pizzazz.
Yeah.
It's like,
It
what
looks
is
like
that? A
some
phone
90s
game?
Those look like some '90s jams or something in icon form.
Look, Sonic Mania is the first good Sonic game ever. They deserve to have a good
You
icon.
take that back. I don't want to get into this.
Sonic Spinball's fine.
No, it's not. Sonic Spinball controls like shit. It's a bad Sonic game and a bad pinball
Fine.
game.
Mean Bean Machines are fine.
Now you're talking.
Oh boy.
But that's just Puyo.
That's Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dr.
also,
Robotnik
it's better
cooler
as
than
Kirby.
Dr. Eggman.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
better as Kirby's Avalanche anyway.
All right. Well, on that note, two orders of business here. Snake Pass is a cool game, and you should play it.
Okay.
And two, we're going to take a break and come back with some emails where we will begin with Sonic the Hedgehog.
And 3.
Yes. It's 2018,
Yes.
and sexual performance issues are more common than you think.
Oh no.
It's true.
You know what? I believe it because it's not something people want to talk about.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
They don't, and a lot of times people have trouble going to the doctor with this stuff.
Sure.
And that's where forhims.com comes in.
I don't want to know that my doctor is better at sex than me.
No,
So like if I
that's-
tell him I have a problem, then he's going to be able to lord that over me.
Exactly. Forhims.com is the solution. It's a one-stop shop for stuff for men,
Sure.
that are looking for help with like hair loss or skin care, sexual wellness. They've got medical-grade solutions and real doctors.
Good.
And they make it affordable with well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions. So this is real stuff.
Yeah.
Like doctors have looked into this. This isn't like, hey, I found this out back, try this and maybe it'll help.
It's not some sort of herbal supplement that some
No.
guy with a trench coat is selling you outside of the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, no, this is real stuff to combat these issues. Forhims.com offers men easier and more affordable access to the prescriptions, products, and medical advice they need.
That's great.
Yeah, no waiting room, no awkward doctor visits.
Yep.
Doctor's not
Yeah.
going to have to...
I don't care. I'll tell an internet doctor.
Oh, yeah, you'll type
about my
whatever
problem.
into the internet.
Sure, but as long as I don't have to see that internet doctor anymore
Yeah.
or
It's
see him at all.
Exactly. You answer a few questions, they hook you up with a doctor online. You're saving hours by going to forhims.com with this stuff. The doctor will review your case, prescribe you, and everything will be sent directly to your house. Order now. Listeners get a trial month for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. You can see the website for full details. This would cost you hundreds of dollars if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/bombcasted. That's forhims.com/bombcasted. Past tense.
Yeah.
forhims.com/bombcasted. Did you know that support for today's show comes to you in part from Squarespace?
I mean, yes,
Okay, great.
but they don't. They don't know.
No, they don't.
But they do now.
They do now. And did you know? Think it, dream it, make it with Squarespace.
I actually didn't know that part.
Yeah,
So
no.
that's actually really helpful.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm going to run this down for you because you seem like a fine, upstanding individual that might have some things you want to move on the internet.
Yes, I do seem like that.
So you can do this with Squarespace. Squarespace is like kind of a one-stop shop for setting up a website to do stuff. Whether that's like, I don't know, what do? You take pictures?
Yeah.
All right, great. You could put your pictures up on this website.
I took a picture of a dog I saw this morning.
Great.
And now I have no home for it. I just it's sitting in my phone and it's gonna get lost.
You can share that with the world on your own domain, on your own website. You could have like, here's a picture I took of a dog.net. I don't know.
Ooh,
like what I don't know what
yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah, don't register that if you're listening.
Yeah, if you're listening, don't register that. But they've got beautiful templates over at Squarespace that make it very easy for you to get that content in front of people. And if you want to sell stuff like prints of a picture of a dog,
I am totally comfortable selling prints of somebody else's dog on my
that's
website.
yeah. If you took the photo, that's yours.
Exactly, it's art.
That's right.
I took it at like with a cool angle and there's a filter on it.
You can't own art.
That's
you just
right.
you curate
Well,
it.
I can own
Well, you
art. I
you
can
can
own
yeah.
art.
Intellectual the IP rights to this art definitely would belong to you. You can customize all of it from look and feel, settings, and products. It's all optimized for mobile. So if people want to buy your dog pictures on their dang phone,
Oh shit!
they can do it.
Mobile is the future.
Mobile is the future, my friend, is now. You can showcase your work, all that stuff in just a few clicks. Squarespace has analytics, so you're going to know how many people are looking at that picture of that dog.
At least 100
Yeah.
people, hopefully. That's my goal.
Hopefully, yeah.
My Q3 goal is...
If you get 100 people, maybe at that point you're like, maybe we need a second picture of a dog.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And if no people look, then you're like, maybe I need a picture of something else, like a goose.
And I bet it's very easy using Squarespace to swap out a picture of a dog for
Absolutely.
a picture of a goose.
They've got templates in place for you to just swap those photos, swap that content around whenever you need. Nothing for you to install or patch or upgrade, but they are there for you 24/7 with some customer support. If you run into any issues swapping that dog with that goose, they have got your back on that.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody does.
Yeah. Hey, keep dreaming, but make it a reality with a website from Squarespace.
Will do.
Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code BOMBCAST.
All right, it's time for some emails, which were sent in to bombcast@giantbomb.com.
Exciting!
And as promised, the first email is about Sonic the Hedgehog. It's from
Thought
Goose.
you-
I'm sorry.
I thought you were lying.
Nope. I would never lie about Sonic the Hedgehog.
He's bad.
Actually,
I'm not lying either.
We will explore that territory.
Oh, okay. All right.
With this email. It's from Gusto in Texas. I've been a longtime gamer and have shared some of my greatest games with my 3 sons. When one of my sons was 5, I introduced him to Sonic games. He is now 17 and is still obsessed with Sonic.
Wow.
What have you done?
One of my other sons is now 11 and only asks to play Roblox. We own a huge variety of games on all platforms, yet my boys are obsessed with what I consider to be garbage. Is this relatable to my experience growing up, where I never liked any of my dad's music and thought he was old and out of touch with what was considered cool and hip? Is it karma? Have I become that old, uncool dad that plays trash? Where did I go wrong?
My oldest son plays Dota. I don't know where I went wrong.
Wow.
I tried to get him into fighting games,
Yeah.
and he played WoW for a little while. You know, that
Yeah.
was like a deep dark hole that
Yeah.
I luckily got him out of. But now he plays Dota.
Sometimes
I
a
don't-
father has to have a talk with the son about the
Yeah.
direction his life is taking.
Yeah, I don't know where he went wrong.
Kids
here.
rebel.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that's
Yeah.
And I think that's and it's natural for kids to develop their own likes and dislikes.
Yeah, sure.
You know, whether that's shaped by wanting like a desire to be different from your parents,
Mhm.
or if it just kind of happens a little more subconsciously than that.
Brad, did your dad play Dota?
No, now that you mention it. Huh.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it. All right. Hopefully that helps.
Roblox.
It's your fault for having to play Sonic in the first place.
Yeah,
Roblox is
you
big,
did it.
isn't it?
I mean, he would have found
Yeah,
it
yeah.
on his own, and maybe you want to introduce it carefully and be like,
Rather have them at home.
be the cool dad, you know,
Yeah.
that's like, if you're gonna play Sonic, play it at
Play
my
it
house.
here.
Don't
Don't
drive
go out
anywhere
and-
afterwards.
yeah.
You turn out fine, okay? If you grow up playing Sonic, you turn out okay.
wow.
That's the kind of reassurance that somebody playing Sonic
Yeah.
is definitely telling themselves all the time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Where did you learn this stuff?
If you play WoW, play it on my account and make sure that you're doing your mining and stuff, and gathering. And
I just want to go fast.
I learned it from my Chow Garden.
Even if I'm watching you,
Yeah.
How is
the-
your
pull-
Chow Garden doing?
Oh, it's dope, man. I gotta very carefully
It's
replace
just
the
dope in your
batteries.
garden now?
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. You know, they legalized it.
Feds can't
Right.
raid
Yeah.
gardens that are in our dimension.
Pull the,
Exactly.
pull the shoebox off the top shelf of the closet
Yeah.
and shake it in their face.
It was the Wiz Khalifa's weed farm of its day.
Okay. Let's see.
What else you got?
Anthony from the UK.
Hey.
Hi, crew. I played a bit of Sea of Thieves recently, and it feels like Rare made a whole game based on Spinal from Killer Instinct.
Oh, yeah.
What other game would you like Rare to make next based on one of their other old characters? Maybe another Saberman game like that Stampede one, which looked like a cool Zelda clone.
Mr. Pants.
What?
A sweeping Mr. Pants adventure.
Who's Mr. Pants?
Mr. Pants is a rare character.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good name. For a
Like
rare
uncommon or
Yeah, and it shows
Foil?
up in a couple of like a foil Mr. Pants.
right.
I want a mumbo jumbo game.
character. Okay.
Mm.
All right.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I've been trying to picture what it is,
Yeah.
and I can't. Other than 3D platformer,
He's just the disembodied head, right?
I thought he had a little
does he have a
body.
body?
He's got a little
Does he have a
Little
body?
body.
Okay.
Shakes a bone around. I think.
Okay.
Mm.
Think it's time for another Viva Pinata?
I was gonna say, what if they were to make a game around Horstachio?
Hey, what do you know?
What if they added
Or
that and didn't tell
Clackberry?
anybody? What if that made it into Sea of Thieves? Just like you find an island that just is
that
a
dude,
sick
that
garden,
fucking
and then you
came
can make
up
the garden.
In the 190-minute session we played of Sea of Thieves, the
What
idea
if?
of discovering a pinata island totally came up,
Man.
Oh,
and I got
great.
really excited about the game that does not exist.
Unfortunately, Fortnite now controls pinatas in video games. So
God damn it!
Only
Oh, they
llamas.
do.
Only llamas. shape
okay,
pinatas.
all right.
Yeah,
Fudge
that's
Hogs
true.
is still legit.
Yeah.
Man. Fuck.
That would be cool.
All right. Let's move on. This is from Zach.
Lego Maniac.
I was at work the other day and a thought struck me. What the hell is happening with Borderlands? I know Gearbox released Battleborn a couple of years ago, and Randy certainly isn't shy about confirming that they are working on the game. But why is there no buzz on the internet? My question is, will we see a teaser, trailer, or anything from Gearbox this year, and when do you think we'll see it?
It seems like something that would
This
be
is
at
the
E3.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
surely,
so.
right?
They
Like,
start
it's
talking
been-
about it a little more openly.
It's been, what, 2 years since Battleborn, right?
I
That
don't
feels
even-
right. I don't know.
Battleborn feels like it was just yesterday.
A century ago.
We're still dealing with the aftermath of Battleborn in some ways.
Yeah. Like, is he right though? I mean, like, have they really been that honest about the fact that they're doing it? Like, I feel like we've heard it. Like, you hear it, but like,
they for a while they were saying it in terms of like, also we're making the thing you expect us to
Okay.
be making.
okay, that's pretty.
And then
explicit.
with saying it without naming it, and then it's a little more recent that they started naming it.
okay,
But
that's pretty straightforward.
yeah, the
Also-
understanding is that they're
Also, what else would they do?
right.
Why would you not do that?
Yeah.
There's
I could
still-
see that. That's a big enough franchise that I could
Yeah.
see it debuting on a press conference
Sure.
stage.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many more guns these new consoles
Oh,
can
man.
generate?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. More moves, more
40
guns.
See,
Plus
next
billion.
gen gun.
Yeah.
Just shoot guns out of
Gun
a gun.
shoots guns.
Make the gun. A
Mm.
gun that shoots guns.
Ooh yeah.
Gun.
Who do you like open that trailer with? Like it
Randy
can't.
Pitchford.
That
Doing magic
stupid, that
tricks.
stupid little.
Like it can't be Handsome
chat-
Jack, right?
What's his name?
It's
Oh,
fucking
fucking-
Claptrap.
yeah, Claptrap, of
Yeah,
course, of course.
it's a fucking black screen, and then
Yes.
Claptrap rolls out on the stage, and people go, "Yay!"
And then they shoot him, and he's not in the game.
Oh, that would actually like if you want to put Borderlands 3 off on the right foot, that is literally the 100% right thing to do. Is fucking put a bullet in
He
fucking
just like
Claptrap.
starts talking about like I'm Pickle Rick or something, and then
Fuck.
just shoot him.
Pickle Rick
Yeah.
joke out of Claptrap would be yep.
Yep.
Man.
Unfortunately, my worry is that they will do that, and then that will just literally be the game, and you'll be like, "Oh God!"
I'm trying
Just
to remember, was Claptrap always that bad?
no.
He's fine.
Clap
He's fine.
Borderlands
But
1 Claptrap.
Yeah, I remember
if he were to
the
become a
first game,
villain,
it was fine.
I'd be okay with him being the
Oh yeah, like a
main
bad guy.
villain.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, they leaned on Claptrap very hard.
Yes, that's right.
more so than the character was able to
Yeah.
handle.
Yeah.
Over the course of
in the
those
second
3
yeah,
games,
Yeah.
and then in the pre-sequel, which exists. Remember that?
Yeah,
I saw somebody start playing that over the weekend on my Steam when I like loaded up my Steam friends list, and I would just almost message them and said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game is a bummer.
Man, if they just come out and be like, "Hey, Borderlands 3, it's coming out this holiday," like that would be kind of exciting.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming they are do what needs to be done.
I want more.
which is make a better game.
Well,
I want
that's
more
the-
variety in the class.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
needs a lot of work, but like they
Well,
do.
like they never. you know, they were bent on this whole notion of you playing as a specific character
Yeah.
in a way that never mattered. You know,
No.
instead of letting you just kind of create a character
Yeah.
and giving you like more meaningful customization, like cosmetically, other than just like skins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm not sure. Like the slam dunk fucking obvious thing is Borderlands 3 is the game where they just finally make it a more online thing and basically make Destiny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the best idea anymore, maybe.
Yeah. Or they would have to do it way better. I mean, like,
Sure,
like,
yeah.
You know.
But with their thing, you know, their type of loot, all that other stuff, I think, you know, it has a different vibe. It's basically like, you know, taking their game, which was, you know, a Diablo-style game,
Right.
and connecting it up.
Was Borderlands 2 open world? I can't remember how that thing was like built.
It was always
Yeah.
like
yeah,
you just kind of like walk out of town and just go wander.
There were
you know, there would be
different,
quests
areas
like,
of
oh,
the
this
world.
gate's shut until you do a
Sure,
thing.
sure.
But
sure.
yeah.
But it wasn't Destiny style like load in and out of small levels.
No.
No.
Okay.
No, there were teleporters. There were loads.
Okay.
Like you would
Sure.
walk into a tunnel and there would be a load and
Well,
you'd come
sure.
out on the other end of the
Yeah,
tunnel.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
like a
But you-
contiguous, but it was
but
contiguous.
it felt more like a real world
Yes.
and not
Yes.
just discrete
yes.
thing. Okay. Yeah, like if they leaned into that harder and made like a bigger
Mm-hmm.
world
That would
to
be
just
good.
kind of be in. I
Just
think that'd
kind
be
of, you know,
fun.
I want to randomly encounter other players out there
Yeah.
doing shit.
Yeah.
It's the thing that even Destiny doesn't do that well.
Yeah.
It's the thing that I wanted out of the Division that it doesn't do at all.
Yeah. Yeah, like some
Uh,
kind of Dark Zone equivalent or something where you had some like
Oh, yeah, if they-
non-consensual
yes,
PvP,
if
like
they
the
had-
ability to jack people for their loot would be kind of
If they had meaningful PvP in that,
Yeah.
because you know they had the dueling stuff,
Yeah.
you know, or they had like the arena you could go to
Right.
and,
Oh,
and
that's
have
right.
deathmatch. Like it was in world, like everyone goes
Yeah.
to this arena and then
but
we
there
can
were no
fight.
stakes, right?
No,
Like
you didn't gain any XP for player kills or anything like
Right.
that. It was
Like, I
just
mean,
kind of
I don't know. I say this and then it sucks when it happens to you, but I was always like fascinated with the PvP stuff in WoW, where you have the contested zones
sure,
and you could just get killed
right.
by somebody who was higher level than you and just
Yeah,
came up and
yeah.
killed you. Like that stuff was, you know, like adding some danger to the world. I think would be kind of fun.
I think
Yeah.
the thing you run into with Borderlands is that the power growth from low level to high level is such that like you'd have to be really careful.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have high level players just fucking wrecking people.
If you're just doing
totally.
20 times more damage than somebody else, you just shoot
It's
them once.
why the duels in that game had to have no stakes.
Yeah,
because
that's
you could be like, oh, you know, I can kill you with literally 2 bullets
Yeah.
because that's how higher level I am than you.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
which is
fair.
like neat, but
Yeah, it'd be cool if they had stuff like I'm picturing like there are bounties out in the world and it's kind of like up to whoever gets there first, and you know you're in an instance with whatever 100 people and you have your squad there and you can
all right,
and there's like a circle that starts
Okay.
shrinking
Huh.
and
all right, 100 claptraps. This time
All fall
you
into a
are the
volcano.
I guess they had a playable claptrap at one point, didn't they? I fucking that was a class in one of the
oh yeah.
With later ones, yeah.
yeah.
You guys play that
Tales from?
Tales from?
No, what I've always heard, it's like one of the best.
Yeah.
I
Telltale
started
games.
on it, and you know, it's kind of I think between kind of not really being that into the latter
Lore
day
of
Telltale
Handsome Jack.
games, and then also Handsome Jack kind of being one of the worst characters in the whole thing.
He's no Tiny Tina.
Fuck, come on.
I don't know. The beginning of that Tiny Tina DLC is kind of cool.
Yeah, it really is.
I could never
that-
bring myself to.
Oh,
it.
that D&D stuff is pretty neat.
Yeah,
I have
that's
to
a
admit,
neat idea.
That stuff was cool. Whatever you think of the character.
Oh, I have a lot of things I think about the character.
Yeah.
She's tiny.
Go on.
Her name's Tina.
Okay,
She's
I don't know
She's
anymore.
a little loony.
All right.
All right, here's Kevin with a very simple question. Is John Cena the new Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No,
No.
Uh, why not?
he's too
funny.
Is he too nice?
He went straight to kid friendly, or
Okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
He's still doing a variety of movies.
Having never seen anything John Cena's been in, like that would have been my guess.
Could
was
you
that
see
he's
John
too-
Cena
He's too
in-
friendly.
Conan the Barbarian. No.
I don't know.
No, you couldn't. He's too goofy, too charismatic.
Like
to be
the-
a
He's
big,
just like a
dumb
slightly
barbarian.
lesser Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, he's got the charisma.
I think the most Cena I've
And-
seen is some of these like sort of public service announcement type things
Yeah.
he's done, and he
Yeah.
just seems like a genuinely like good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like-
seems all right.
Does not seem
He
like.
has the record for Make-A-Wish, right?
Which is not
Yeah.
to say like
Mhm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is some monster, but like
No, yeah.
Have you
But-
seen him without a shirt on lately? He
but
looks kind of
he's
monstrous.
yeah. Well, he's had a lot happen lately.
Yep.
Schwarzenegger, I think, just he has a
there's a menace to him.
yes. There's a badassness to
Yes,
him in his
yes.
action work that I think Cena can kind of get to, but like ultimately, I think John Cena is still just a little too affable.
Okay.
He seems more of an entertainer, whereas
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's
Yeah.
more of a movie star.
Like,
Sure.
and also, like, it doesn't help. Like, the thing I think of John Cena doing most these days is like hosting the Kids' Choice Awards, and a lot of he's the voice of the bull in that animated thing.
Okay.
And, like a lot of the film choices he's making, or a lot of the things he's getting offered. I don't know what the situation is, but like it's a lot of family friendly stuff mixed in with some comedy and
Some like
and,
raunchy comedy stuff.
yeah,
that
like he's got
done.
it sounds it seems like he's got the chops for it.
Yeah, totally.
And all that, but like the Marine was fine, but also that was before John Cena did a lot of the other stuff that made him come across a little more charismatically than he does.
So what I will say, wouldn't be surprised if that man ran for office one day.
Who, John Cena?
Yeah.
On a side note, I ended up watching The Terminator last week for the first time, probably since the 80s.
Yeah.
It's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it does hold up.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's
I
actually
had
good.
watched T2 right before it, and, like, of course, that's fantastic, but then I went back and watched that, and I was like, wow, like, holy shit.
Like
The last
Terminator
thing I-
2 is an
for-
action
for-
movie. The Terminator
Yeah,
is a movie.
It's a fucking slasher flick. Like, it's a
Yeah.
horror
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Like,
It's like how Rocky
fucking-
1 is
yeah.
very much just
like,
a movie. and
for
then-
for how,
or
like,
like how First Blood is a
Yeah.
movie, but Rambo is you
for how, like, incredibly low budget parts of it look, and some, like, dated aspects of it, like, it's fucking scary as hell. The thing holds up. It's
The
amazing.
last thing that I bought at the Toys R Us was a little plushy Terminator. Cute little silver skeleton.
That's
He's adorable. He's adorable. And he'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
Terminator.
He's a Terminator. Let's see here. Yeah, fine, I'll read this.
Okay.
AJ from Grand Rapids. After hearing the discussion last week about the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan,
Oh, those guys again.
I thought you would like to know about an even stranger one. The Texas Teachers Association invested more than $200 million into Formula One back in 2012. This gave them 3% ownership in the most prestigious racing series in the world and has paid out at least $25 million so far.
Jeez.
While nowhere near as crazy as the Ontario plan, it is still very strange to see an American teachers plan investing in something that at the time had yet to make it big in the U.S.
Crazy. Yeah. And 3% still isn't like, voting rights on any
Right.
board, I would
Probably
think.
not, yeah.
Probably not.
They can't get us image rights on the wiki.
Yeah.
I think F1 just changed hands, so
Oh.
maybe they are a little less shitty.
Maybe we can start hosting F1 images again.
I mean, we could just post it and see what happens. See if we get another cease and desist. How's
Yeah,
that
it
work?
was-
I don't know.
Still, Texas rednecks and F1 racing. That's an interesting mix.
yeah, it's more kind of stock car country, right?
Well, it doesn't mean it's not a good investment. If anything,
That's fair. Yeah. Let's see. Chris from Gainesville, Florida. I recently listened to a podcast that did a look at the history and the ultimate fate of the Phantom console. Part of that mentioned that it was shopped around at trade shows in prototype form that a few people managed to actually spend some time with. Did any of you ever get a chance to see this thing in person? And have you encountered any other interesting things at trade shows that eventually ended up being vaporware? Did you see that thing?
I did.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Phantom was like a hyped as fuck, like,
PC in a
Steam
box.
box.
it was like a console slash,
Yeah,
This
they,
was like
it was
probably-
they wanted PC power that you could hook up to a TV.
When
Yeah.
was this?
like late 90s around
Okay,
like
yeah,
like it was probably like wasn't in my mind it was like around the time DVD players were getting big.
It was like post Nuon.
Yeah.
Or in
Yeah.
that same range, right?
Yeah. And one of their big claims to fame was they were working on what they called a lap board, which
Came out.
actually,
Came out.
That's the one part of it that came out, which
Yeah.
was like
I had one of those.
it was supposed to be like a
Game
controller.
Informer I did.
Yeah, like
It was cool. Like, the keyboard actually kind of tilted up. You'd have your straight lap, but the keyboard tilted up at like a 45-degree angle, so you could put your hand under it.
Okay.
And that's where your mouse
oh,
would.
interesting. It was basically
It
it
was
was a way
weird.
to do mouse and keyboard shit
Yep.
on the couch.
Yeah,
But
and that thing came to pass. But yeah, the Phantom, they announced it. They held meetings off-site. I remember having to leave the show floor and going to go see it. And I don't remember the demo itself being particularly impressive. I think it was just like tech demos.
What
or
they try to
something.
showcase,
I'm trying to
PC
remember.
exclusive games. Or
No,
something?
I
Really?
honestly, like it's hard. Some of that stuff runs together a little bit with some of the Nuon demos I got,
Okay.
where like we went to another room and saw like Iron Soldier running on a DVD player, or, unless that was the Phantom, but I don't know because the Nuon was just a DVD player with some extra chips in it.
So yeah, I think I'm mixing this up with
Uh,
the new one. The Phantom was 2003ish.
Okay.
when they announced it.
And they announced it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Nuon would have been
Earlier, right?
not much earlier though,
Okay.
because you think about mainstream DVD players, that's still probably like 2000, 2001 or something, right?
Yeah.
So
What was the first DVD you ever watched?
The Matrix.
Yeah, The Matrix was easily the first DVD I ever tried to get my hands on.
Seabiscuit.
Man, I don't
Okay.
remember.
Nice.
Rush Hour.
Really use
Nice.
that power.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
I bought 3 movies. The Matrix was one of them. I can't remember what the other 2 were.
But those launched. I was working at a Blockbuster when the changeover happened from VHS to DVD.
Yeah.
So we had a lot available to us. I can't remember what the first one was. But holy man, there's so many people that brought their DVDs back and saying, "What are these stupid black bars at the top and the bottom of the screen?" You try and explain it to them. They're like, "Well, I don't want that." I'm like, "Well, you get to see more of the picture, actually." "No, I don't want that. I want a refund."
I can't think of much besides the Phantom from like E3s that was that hyped and didn't come out.
No, I mean, I don't think maybe someone was, but I know we were never like, oh, that Phantom.
Yeah.
Like, it was always like, here's this company you've kind of never heard of.
Yeah, nobody believed in it.
Yeah,
but it was more-
showing this thing off, and the whole pitch, just top to bottom, just seemed like, all right, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if you can crack this nut, someone should, I guess, but like, this is still crazy.
Yeah, but it got a lot of press and attention at the time.
Yeah.
Phantom's, still what I associate with vaporware. That's what I
Yeah.
first learned the term.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think like other trade show stuff that never would have come to pass. Like that I personally saw, I don't know.
Like
I
there's
know
games here and there, but
yeah,
nothing
I think they
huge.
showed off versions of Duke Nukem Forever, didn't they?
Yeah.
They
showed trailers and stuff.
yeah, like I never saw any of that stuff firsthand.
Yeah.
And even like the CD attachment for like a Super Nintendo or something like that was never really publicized that much.
yeah,
You saw like a scan in a
Yeah.
magazine.
Right, that never was like out on a show
Yeah.
floor somewhere.
Exactly.
At best, that would have been. I mean, if they were ever even thinking about releasing that stuff and it wasn't just prototypes, that would have been like, hey, devs, come behind this closed door and look at this thing. But I don't even think that SNES CD stuff made it to that stage.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's certainly rare.
I was playing a little Hotel Mario on the CDI yesterday.
What? What on that old CDI?
Just checking out
Why
some
not?
CDI stuff.
Why not?
Tight.
You want to see how the spaghetti tech was?
Yeah, it's good. Hotel Mario is a bad game. I don't know if you knew that. They say, yeah, this
I don't think this podcast is ready for such an incendiary take.
that's I'm a trailblazer.
Blazing something.
Saying the things other people are
Next, you're
afraid
gonna
of.
tell me those Zelda CDI games weren't good either.
No, those are fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic animation.
the animation
Voice
is really
acting.
probably the best part.
Top
shelf.
notch.
It's like, what if you had like Dragon's Lair, but also a Zelda game?
Yeah.
What if
You know?
Dragon's Lair was melting?
Right.
But getting Studio Ghibli involved is really what made those things
Yeah.
what they were.
Just the look.
That Ganon design is like in my mind the canonical Ganon.
Such good localization.
There is a
yeah.
frame grab of the king, and I think it's Zelda laughing from that thing. That
Oh,
I
sure.
just die every time I see it. Like it's just like Pavlovian. Question from Jake about the international. The Dota.
It's in
Dota
Canada.
tournament. Yeah.
Truly international.
Quick
No.
question. Is the move to Canada likely to help solve visa issues for players, or is it the first step of Valve
fuck.
eventually purchasing Canada itself? And if so, isn't Canada the ultimate cosmetic DLC, being that it's America's hat?
Wow.
It's a good email.
That's pretty fun.
Man,
Yeah.
there's layers.
I know.
So yeah, they announced this year for the first time that it wasn't the international, which is the big yearly Dota tournament. It's going to be in
Vancouver.
Vancouver?
Yes, Vancouver. To which I said, first of all, yay, because Key Arena is terrible. B, that's another country. I don't want to go that far. It's not that much farther than Seattle.
I was gonna say it's like a drive.
It's like an extra
You
hour
Just fly to Seattle and to
or
get a
less.
car.
But
yeah, a lot of people are speculating that it's due to
Visa stuff.
existing visa issues and new complications that have arisen.
That was my first thought, because like didn't Admiral Bulldog get turned away last year?
He did, and he was coming on as like a caster. There's a lot of players from countries like Jordan and in all around the Middle East, like Liquid, the returning champion, their mid player is from Jordan. And like people are speculating maybe he wouldn't be able to get in, and
Right.
I don't know what Canada's stances on like esport visas are, because certain companies like Russia and China to a lesser degree have legitimized those to the level of like, yes, you can come here for esports, like no problem.
Yeah.
but I'm sure
This may
it's
be the
easier
first
than it
time
was
that
for
Canada
America.
has really had to think about it.
Yeah, probably
At this scale,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure not to say
Like,
that
yeah,
this is the
there
first
are.
esports in Canada, but it's going to be the largest, most internationally attended
Yes,
event probably.
and it probably makes travel easier for international people as well. Just like not even to compete, but
Right.
just like to go from
Yeah.
China or Russia or
Yep.
wherever Dota is very popular, South America.
I'm sure Seattle businesses are super stoked
My sleep
about losing all that money.
My sleep schedule's been a little fucked up because I've been watching a Chinese Dota tournament that starts at 9 p.m. Oops.
Mm.
Oops.
That's not that late though. Like, how long did they last?
You know, it's
Dota
actually,
games can go.
Yeah.
they've actually been like
just
all
one game
sub
now?
half hour. Well, like best of threes.
Okay.
Through a bracket.
So it could be like 2 hours.
It's
3 hours.
it's probably like 3-4 hours.
Okay.
A night, but I'm not staying up for the whole thing. But
Whoa.
it's a good one. DAC, check it out.
I won't.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell your son.
Joe from Phoenix, who he says Jeff may remember as Nintendo from Undernet IRC.
Okay. Yep.
There you go.
Go on.
I'll never forget what you did at Dragon Con.
I was over at my nearby Dave & Buster's when, lo and behold, I find a brand new cruising game called Cruisin' Blast.
Yeah.
With Midway long gone, does this mean Nintendo has always owned the rights to that franchise? I'm guessing the developer of this was Raw Thrills based on the cabinet logos. I attached a pic, and yeah, sure enough, it says Cruisin' Blast.
Yeah. Raw Thrills made a new cruising game.
And with a Nintendo logo right underneath.
I guess so. Yeah. I would have thought that maybe Warner would have gotten some piece of it post Midway.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But
Was it definitely Midway
yes.
that owned it?
Well, I don't know about own it, but Midway was making the games in conjunction with Nintendo because that was one of the two games that was like Project Reality.
Right,
Like that was like
right.
N64 hardware in the cabinet, but
Yes.
not really, because
Was it that and KI? Were those the two? Or
yeah,
no?
I think those were
Okay.
the. But I don't know how much.
Like didn't the Killer Instinct, the first revision of Killer Instinct, like still called it Ultra 64? I think.
Coming soon.
Didn't they have that logo in there or something?
Probably.
Ultra
Yeah.
Man, Ultra 64.
It's a good name.
That was a pretty good name.
It would it have been Ultra Mario
Oh man.
at that point? Like, what would they have called that game?
Oh, that would have been so good.
Or maybe it would have just been Super Mario Ultra,
Mm-hmm.
which is also still a good name. Super Mario
Oh,
Ultra.
I don't know which one's better, man. Fucking Ultra Mario is so good.
Ultra Mario is one of my favorite esports casters.
Yeah.
This isn't even in my final form.
I don't even know where to start with this because A, they made a new cruising game. B, it's an arcade game.
Yep.
Arcade
C,
only? Like it
Yeah,
wasn't a
that's-
port of anything?
Nope.
Yeah,
They
no.
made a new Raw Thrills is in the arcade business.
and then yeah, what the hell is I'm trying to remember
So-
what Raw Thrills has even done before this.
Raw Thrills did Target Terror, that light gun game.
Okay.
And that was maybe one of their first games, but they've had a steady clip of games coming out.
They did the
Light gun
Injustice
games.
arcade
Yeah, they did
game?
the Injustice arcade game that is the mobile port.
Yeah.
What a weird thing.
Yeah.
I think they did the American Idol game that is relatively recent.
Okay. They did a Walking Dead game. They did Space Invaders Frenzy, whatever the hell that is.
Oh,
yeah,
that-
that
it's
rules.
neat. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like a big,
Oh,
it's
wow.
4
Huge
LCD
screen.
Holy
screens,
shit, that
and you
looks
sit
cool.
there and
It really is.
blast its 2-player. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're,
Man.
Played that at
like
California Extreme.
there are not a lot of companies out there making things for arcades anymore, and I think this might, I don't know if this is or not, but there are some arcade machines now that have become exclusive to Dave & Buster's.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a business model. Holy
right.
shit.
So at some point, like there, how many different arcade chains are there out there? Like how many different arcade chains are at a size where they can say, we will guarantee buy X number of units
Yeah.
that will then make it profitable for you to make this machine or whatever. So you start to wonder, like, when does Dave & Buster's get involved in this process? Are they funding some of the development because they just need new shit to keep their locations running?
Right. I'm watching footage of this. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
This looks like a pretty good
I
racing
hear
game.
it's okay.
I guess the other avenue is like places like Round One that will
Yeah.
import Japanese games.
Exactly, and they've gone hard on that end of things and done the licensing work to bring in DDR
Yeah.
that you kind of can't bring in.
What if arcades come back?
I
mean, like,
They're making that new Daytona.
That's out.
like-
that's
oh,
been
did that
out.
come out?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that
Um,
new barcade here in the city that's
yeah.
supposed to be really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't
But like arcades coming back now, like what is that?
It's
it feels like there's that end of it, but also then at some point is it like a VR center?
yeah. Or just like the payment model has to change in a way that makes it appealing.
Right.
Because like,
Yeah,
you don't have like the graphics advantage anymore. You can't be like, hey, you can't play
Right,
these
right,
games
right.
at home anymore because the
Or like
games
you
at home look better.
You offer booze and
Right,
nice food.
that's what I mean. It's like, hey, pay $20 and hang out for 2 hours, and like it's 2 drink minimum.
There's a
and
really
play
cool.
games.
There's a really cool arcade or place I found in Berkeley called Victory Point Cafe, and you go and it's $5. I mean, you can use the cafe, like you can buy food and drink. They have pizza and sandwiches and stuff like that. But then they have like 250 board games, and for $5 you just get unlimited play. They're all arranged in level of difficulty. Everything's laminated. Everything's really well taken care of. I was like, this is an amazing like. I don't know how they're doing as a business, but I went there and we all ordered at least like 3 drinks because we stayed for a few hours.
Yeah,
it was great.
Is it like $5 for as long as you want to play?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they offer
That's
like,
cool.
bulk discounts, like buy, 10 entries for $40 or whatever.
That's cool.
Neat.
So like places like that. Yeah. Like you were talking about changing up the business model a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. Like most of the barcades that are around, that's like a generic title at this point, right?
Yeah,
I don't know
totally.
if anybody calls themselves barcade.
But there
like,
are some that are actually called
right.
arcade.
But like those mostly focus on like retro stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, mostly
well,
like classic cabinets.
Pinball.
And yeah.
pinball and retro. There's that one down
Not
on
all of them.
on
There's a lot that focus on, rent a console or,
Oh,
they've
sure.
got a bunch of
Yeah.
PCs set up.
Yeah.
Battle and Brew down in Atlanta.
That's
still
a
going.
thing. There's something about that conceptually I am like so like angrily opposed to.
How so? Like it's a
There's
big
something-
social area.
There's
like,
something about the idea of like rent a console, this thing that you may already have at home
right.
that just I
There's
cannot.
a bunch of couch co-op.
Also, I think there's the part of it
multiplayer
where
games.
like unless they're doing all the legwork, pretty sure that's not legal because it's public exhibition of a thing that they usually expressly say
Okay.
you're not supposed to do that.
You got to blow up their spot.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's cheaper to drink at home, but
Yeah.
you lose the social element.
yeah, but like
It's definitely just a social thing. Like that's not the ideal way to play a single player game for sure.
Oh well, sure.
but like a couch co-op game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with like non-gamers. Especially if you like bring
Yeah.
some coworkers and you're like, let's go play Mario Kart. And
Yeah.
It almost just starts sounding like a PC bong at that point to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Paying money to check out a console, there's like a handful of hundreds of dollars to own, or it's just something about it just seems like fucking crazy to me.
I rented
at a
an N64
restaurant,
for a while.
like they've got really good food, they've got really good drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're paying for it at a okay. But can you bring your console to a restaurant?
My response would be, why the fuck would I want to do that?
Right.
Be like, put some arcade machines in here, like a real place that's not my house.
They do have
Wait, actually, yeah, I cannot back that.
Okay.
It's just it rubs me the wrong way. Like I can't even explain it fully.
That's why you killed the arcades. Thanks, chef.
What if you were sitting in front of a PC and chain smoking?
Yeah. But
What if you were duct taped to a roof while playing
yeah.
Counter-Strike?
Okay. There's an audio component to this email. Let's hope this works. Let's hope it picks up well. This is from Christian. He just says 50 Cent did an interview recently where he claims that he has a new video game on the way.
Yeah.
It's one of these things where they get a celebrity and have him or her like answer basically tweet questions, like just people they just go on their Twitter feed and start like responding to some of the tweets they get. Let's hope this works.
We ran out of ideas for things to ask you, so we decided to, use engagement.
Also, it's playing an ad first.
Of course.
Cool.
Great.
So fill 8 seconds, I guess.
Yeah.
It's for ice cream.
How-
I don't like
ice cream
50
sounds
Cent.
Good.
Okay, here we go. I got to time the. I
Jan
gotta-
don't like 50.
Oh, shit.
That's really low.
Sorry. My YouTube player was turned all the way down.
If only there was a way for us to get audio.
I should, you know what? Just send this to Jan.
Just email it to me.
This
Brad.
is gone. I'll just Slack it to you. God damn it.
I don't have Slack.
He doesn't have
He doesn't
Slack.
have
He's the
Slack.
production
Oh, no!
machine.
I got
Slack is
email.
not an option.
I really didn't think this was going to be so
I have
complicated.
the link.
Okay.
You guys like pizza?
That's right.
I do.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had it. But
I haven't had pizza in a while. Maybe we're gonna pop a Murphy's.
Yeah, do that.
I haven't gone since that one time, and I had they had 3 types of sauces, like a normal, a buttery garlic, and a creamy garlic. And we got buttery garlic, but it was just like butter and garlic.
Okay.
It wasn't enough of a sauce because like
expecting.
butter doesn't work
butter's
well
butter.
as a sauce.
It's not-
Yeah,
I
it
have
tasted
50 ready.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
This is 50.
Is it at this time code?
Which time code? I don't.
It's at 4 minutes 54 seconds into the video.
Sorry, this is my
I think
second.
I'm gonna try
the-
creamy garlic next time.
We will get here.
Creamy garlic doesn't sound like a thing I would want with
Just get
pizza
a normal
personally.
ass
but,
sauce.
yeah.
Yeah,
Pizza comes with sauce on it.
I don't believe it's making.
I like a
us
white
the
sauce
end
on a
again.
pizza from like a garbage fast
Mhm.
pizza
Yeah.
place. I'll go outside of the traditional red.
451. Yes.
Copy that.
There we go. Wii U.
Dropping his video game, Bulletproof 2. I'm not sure the title will be Bulletproof 2, but a new video game coming shortly. I have so many new ideas and concepts that I'm getting ready to start talks to develop. Sent. Order the pair, G and the Junior still haven't.
All right.
This was
Could be Bulletproof 2, but might not be.
It won't be called bullet
I feel like-
necessarily. But it's
Okay.
called Bulletproof 2.
In the same sentence, he said it's coming soon, and also it's starting development
Yeah.
soon.
He's ready to talk to developers.
Okay.
That's yeah.
He's making a new game. Thanks, Fitty.
Yeah, this went around a while ago.
Okay.
About a month back, I think. Maybe a couple. Anyway, no,
All right.
that's not.
Why would he make a Bulletproof 2 and not
No.
a Blood on the Sand 2?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like,
Does he not know his base? Like,
I think he's just catering to the person.
or
who
just
asked the
like,
question.
hey,
Yeah.
what's the name of a game my name was attached to, and I'll put a 2 on it.
Well,
Well, that's as much as I
the-
thought about this.
The tweet question asked about Bulletproof 2 by name.
Oh, okay,
So-
that's why. then.
oh,
okay.
gotcha.
He knows.
Yeah,
Bulletproof was bad. Like different bad.
Well, it was
different, yeah.
different. Yeah.
Um,
It's just no blood in the sand.
yeah. Blood in the Sand, also not a great game,
Right.
But
Take it back.
Fun. I had fun the entire time I played it. Because I played the entire thing co-op. I skipped. It's a lot like you in Far Cry.
Yeah.
I skipped most of the cutscenes.
See, that's where you fucked up because that's the best part.
I liked their banter
Mm-hmm.
and the beginning cutscenes and the end cutscenes, but the stuff in the middle was just like a lot of, well, we didn't find ISIS here or Al Qaeda here. Let's go to the next.
It's really the line reads
Yeah.
are the really rewarding parts about Blood on the Sand.
Well, that's why there's a taunt button.
yeah. Yes. Did you unlock any of the later taunt packs?
Oh yeah.
Because that's really where it comes into its own. As like the meters just all go up to the point of like filthiness, loot, gangsterism, whatever it is.
Filthy.
I'm gonna
loot
kill your whole
gangsterism.
generation.
Yeah. Yes. Tony Ayo is the canonical sidekick for that game.
Yeah.
Lloyd Banks, just his performance, just not as good.
Muted.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, between the line reads, not even just like 50 Cent and the other members of G Unit, but like
The bad guy.
the bad guy, the arms
He's definitely
dealer
doing-
that you're working
he's
with.
most sinister.
Yeah, like every- yeah.
50 Cent, I will
Like,
get
all
you.
that shit is so fucking over the top. Not even over the top. It's just fucking bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
But in a way that you can kind of latch
Some of
onto
it's
and
over
appreciate.
over the top.
Some of it's over
like
the top.
the whole premise of the game is very
yes,
over the top.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that 50 Cent really has the. And maybe that's why this is a perfect move for him. But I just don't
He
feel
doesn't
like
have the
50
social
Cent
capital.
is in a place right now to where
So
that's like
he
such a
doesn't
thing
have the
that,
juice.
To start
that people
programming again.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the tech has changed.
Exactly.
Well, he's a successful businessman.
He's an Unreal
now.
3 guy.
Right.
Know.
Now, if Drake made a game,
John Drake?
100 Drakes. It's Drake and John Drake.
Right.
Okay.
100 Drakes, a mixture of the
Tale
two.
of Two Drakes.
Yeah, it's a VR game.
I like this.
They parachute in.
If anybody was ever going to sign Drake to a video game development deal, it would have to be John Drake.
I would hope
Like,
so.
That's got to be the ultimate
Yeah,
fate. That's John Drake's ultimate destiny,
yeah.
is to sign Drake.
Drake on Drake.
One would hope.
Yeah,
Call it Drake and Guard.
yeah. Drake of the 99
Drakes.
Drakes.
All right.
It's
last-
Drake and then 99 more Drakes.
Oh, so there's 100 Drakes.
Mhm.
On an island.
101 drinks.
All right, last email. Brandon in Illinois. Hey guys, I'm sure everyone has heard of all the privacy concerns about social media platforms lately. And to that end, I was curious.
No, what's that about? What's going on?
Yeah. To that end, I was curious to see what one of the analytics sites thought about my profile.
What's this globe next to all my Facebook posts mean?
Just don't ask.
All right. Well, here's pictures of all my sensitive medical tests and all this other stuff. I figured I would just throw them up here.
Here is a readout of your call history,
Okay.
which you never agreed to provide to the app. Since I like a lot of gaming-related pages, I thought you might be interested to read some of the highlights, according to the test. Okay. He liked Portal, Newegg, and Seinfeld. The test said, these likes make you appear contemplative. He liked Mountain Dew, 24, and Seinfeld again. These likes make you appear competitive.
Yeah,
Mountain Dew. Yeah, that. Yep.
it's gamer fuel,
Uh-huh.
basically.
These likes,
Just like Seinfeld.
yeah.
Yep.
These likes make you appear more Christian. The North Face, Fallout, and Portal.
Yeah, big biblical themes in Portal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Fallout too. Like, yeah, a lot of flat earthers playing Fallout.
These likes make you appear more Catholic. The Chicago Cubs, some other sports team I'm not familiar with, and Capcom.
Chicago. Yeah. Okay. That checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly, he liked Mountain Dew, Seinfeld again, Capcom again. These likes make you appear less satisfied with life.
Capcom, Seinfeld, and what?
Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. That's about right.
These are 3 things I like.
That's the only one of those that I think lines up.
Thinking about ending it all next
Yep,
week.
he says Capcom obviously will make anyone feel less satisfied with life and also a believer in hellfire and damnation.
Unless you like Monster Hunter.
True.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's all right.
I don't know.
That's a weird.
He's got a link here to the test he took if anybody else wants to try.
I
but-
do. I also downloaded all my data.
Taking
yesterday.
fucking tests on Facebook is how we got into this goddamn
Right.
mess.
Yeah, I would personally recommend not liking things.
Except for the Giant Bomb page, which you can like on Facebook
Okay,
right now.
all right.
And get updates on all the latest
Make one exception.
going on, and it'll make you appear more cool.
Assuming you still have a Facebook
And more
profile
Catholic.
at this point.
Yeah. Undelete your Facebook for this hot page.
It's okay, even if you delete, they'll have shadow profiles built of everyone. See that?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Not everyone.
I don't want to talk about it.
Huh. Interesting.
I'll send you some articles.
I don't
Interesting.
want to talk about my shadow page.
Man.
There's a lot of stuff on the internet that I understand why people might want to block it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet.
Yeah.
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 Except for giantbomb.com.
That's right. Giantbomb.com.
Did you see that call history stuff?
I heard
Like,
that,
yeah,
yeah,
like
it was the Android version of the app
Facebook
was like
pulling people's phone data and stuff.
Fuck you.
Yeah. The
I
internet,
don't call anyone.
the internet is a cool place.
It's funny. I haven't gotten to the point in Kuni 2 yet, but they allude to, so you have a thing called the Leaf Book, which is kind of their version of Facebook, and people will like drop hints like, hey, I dropped a treasure on here, and it's like a picture and stuff. But they have made allusions to there is dark dealings going on at Leaf Book HQ, and you might have to go there eventually. And
Right.
I'm looking forward to where that goes.
There's no escape.
worked well in Watch Dogs 2. Yeah, that stuff. I don't know.
Actually,
God,
speaking-
Watch Dogs 3 is going to have a
Speaking
lot of.
speaking of like what's going to happen at E3, I would guess probably a new Watch Dogs, right?
Yeah,
if they're every
could
2
see it.
years with those things.
I guess so.
And they're not going to probably do a big Assassin's Creed stuff. 'Cause
right.
They just put out the DLC.
yeah.
And
They're still running that.
Yeah,
That was the other like Ubisoft announcement today was like they announced year 2 of Wildlands.
Yeah.
Like another year of like free add-on support for Wildlands, which
Yeah.
seems kind of bizarre.
yeah. I mean, it seems that they poured a lot into making that game
Yeah.
better. So
Yeah. It's definitely. It's just like they're selling a thing that'll get you like early access to it, but it's kind of going to be free, and it's like cosmetic stuff that you can pay for.
and they announced
or-
Wildlands 2, right?
No, they announced the Division 2.
No, that's right. That's right.
So, they seem very dedicated to sticking by their games. That's like as much as like I kind of came around on Wildlands and enjoyed it. Like there's still some part of me that's like, all right, like put these learnings into another game. Like I don't know what you're doing. I don't know.
I was just thinking about Watch Dogs yesterday because like 2, they kind of burned the obvious material because they already did Silicon Valley.
Right.
But plenty more grist for the mill since that game came out.
I want that
I
game
don't
to
think-
have like 25 different cryptocurrencies that you have to keep track of.
Like at first I was like, where do they go from here? Because they already did San
be funny.
Francisco. Like they already did the heart of all this shit. But like so much more shit has happened since Watch Dogs 2 came out.
Yeah.
There is plenty more to build another game around.
You can have multiple cities.
All right.
Yeah.
Austin's next.
True.
Bombcast@chatbomb.com is the email address. That's it for emails.
Space.
Portland.
Go to space and hack the ISS.
Portland.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Space Portland.
Space Portland. That sounds like a nice place.
Nope.
All right. That's it for the podcast, I think. Are we done here?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
You guys got an after show happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look
Stay
at a sandwich
tuned.
for a few minutes, and then and then let's
probably-
do a thing.
Should probably eat the sandwich.
If you say so.
All right. That's my recommendation.
All right.
I mean, if,
first.
of all the things you could do with a sandwich, I would say eating is probably your best bet.
I got another idea.
But okay. Well, we'll talk about it next week. We'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.